Right, okay. Now, good evening, everyone. Right, okay. Now, quickly give me a small reply. Better if you can put a small thumb. Voice and video both clear. Give me a small thumb. Super, super. Right, okay. Now, I think it's really important to do exams because that is the only way to evaluate where are we, right? That is the only way to evaluate where are we. Sometimes we feel like just because we understand the theories in a class, when I teach you, you feel like you understand. And just because you could do the tutor questions, remember that does not mean that you are really eligible to get A. That means you are really okay. You are really okay to do a paper into a given time, right? So that practice, the practice that you will get by doing papers only, moving forward from this week, from today onwards. Today we are focusing discussion of that entire paper, but maximum 3 hour. 3.5 an hour maximum. We'll take a break in between. We'll try to discuss the paper as much as possible. We have 25 MCQs, 2 structure and 2 essay question to be done. In case that if you could not cover entire paper, what shall we do? We'll allocate next week Monday, first hour maximum. I think enough, 1 hour is enough in case if you could not discuss today. And next Monday we are doing that possible discussions and continuously we are doing questions, right? That's the story. And next important thing is, remember, based on this first paper, don't judge yourself. This is the paper to understand your level. No, where are you? Where are you? I think the how the way you want to study, how much time I want to study, what type of effort I want to put, everything you can learn from these papers. I'm happy that most of you really, sometimes there are some students in a class, sometimes intentionally, right, they skip writing the paper, right? That's a kind of very big mistake that they can do in their life. But still, most of you really joined for the paper, did the exam, and you tried your best. Therefore, I'm very happy about the people who really participated and did the paper. That is the number one thing to correct yourself. That's the first step to correct yourself. I'm very happy. Okay, now what shall we do? Now, what you wanna do is, now, for the paper class, what you should do, you should keep a separate book. For the paper class, should keep a separate CR book and also should have a kind of small, tiny book, maybe a very small book where you can bring everywhere. Keep a small book in where you can bring everywhere, right? To write the short note points, every discussion, sometimes every theory class, every paper class, right? In addition to the theory, sometimes you can learn lots of important theory points, important points that will come for the exam. So all those points, what you want to do is, in that small book, in that short note point book, you want to write down. And but that book should be able to bring everywhere, right? Don't take a CR. It's okay, it's your choice. Don't bring a CR book and don't write important points for the paper discussion. Paper discussion, keep a separate CR book and write the discussion stories. But today's session also, you can learn lots of important points. No, if you feel like something is important to you, in the short note point book, using different color pens and pencil, whatever, nicely write down also important points. That's the plan. Okay, Nim? Now be active and we'll discuss the story. Be active. If you're having any doubt, you can reply to Suleiman sir. If you're having any doubts, anything to be clarified, you can reply to Suleiman sir Zoom chat. Okay. Shall we discuss then? We'll discuss. Shall we discuss then? We'll discuss, right? Okay, we'll discuss the. Okay, super. Right, okay. Now, really, this is a kind of not an. I don't say lazy paper. It's a moderate paper, not a difficult paper. Obviously, it's not a difficult paper. Really, a moderate paper. Right? I expected at least most of you can score easily 75 plus, but there are very few. We'll see. Okay, right, okay, we'll start the idea. Now, be very active till the last moment, session finishes, be very active. Don't let any reason to make you distract. Stay in the session. Every important point, as I told, write the discussion as separate CR book, and to summarize the important points that you learned from today's session, keep a kind of very small book. Right, okay. Now idea, big exam 1 MCQ paper. Okay, big exam 1 MCQ paper. Okay, now idea. I share the PDF of the paper in the group, then you can access the paper PDF in the group, you can access the PDF. Right, okay. Now MCQ idea ni MCQ number 1 MCQ. Number 1, what they are asking that question, number 1, they are asking. Right? Okay. Number 1, what they are asking. Alright. So which of the following is a derived unit? That is very simple. Now they have given 5 options: mass, velocity, length, time, current. Anyone knows that mass, length, time and current, they come under fundamental units, fundamental quantities. The derived quantity going to be velocity. Question number 1, answer is second one. Very basic question. Question number 1, answer is second one. Number 2, right? Because remaining 4 answers are basic quantities, basic units. Question number 2 idea. Number 2, what they are asking, which of the following is a supplementary unit? Supplementary unit, you all know that. We only talked about 2 supplementary units in unit 1. One is a plane angle, other one is solid angle. Plane angle measured in radian and solid angle measured in steradian. Right, time, momentum, mass, weight, they all are derived physical quantities. So therefore the right answer must be solid angle. Or question number 2, answer is third one. Anyone can story. Anyone can get these answers. Not fair, even in case that if you could not get right answer, right, then remember it's not fair, it's your mistake. In case if you could not get answers for question number 1 and 2, it's your mistake, because this is one of the basic questions. Basic questions. And number 3 idea. Number 3, okay. Now in the equation, capital C equals K over rho entire root. Capital C and rho are speed units respectively. The units of capital K are. Units of capital K are. Capital C, equation is given. Capital C is equal to K over rho entire root. And I want to find the units of K. Right? Then C means speed and rho means density. C means speed, rho means density, right? Okay. Now, first of all, subject K. The problem is when subjecting K. The problem is this root, because this root only, this entire equation becomes complex. Therefore, what you do, in order to subject K, should find a way to eliminate the root, right? To eliminate the root, what we can do, we can multiply both sides by. We can square both sides. To eliminate this root. You can square both sides. Now, when you square both sides, capital C squared, that is equal to K over rho root entire squared, whole squared. Then you learn that this square and this root term cancel out. Then finally we are getting capital C is equal to capital K over rho. I want to substitute capital K over rho. When you substitute capital K, this capital K going to be equal to, get cross multiplication, C squared into rho. Now tell me now, what is the units of speed? Speed is measured in meters per second. M is minus 1, right? Meters per second, M is minus 1 speed. Right, speed squared, whole squared into rho means density. Density units kilogram per meter cube, kg, m minus 3, kg minus 3, kilogram per meter cube. And now you can expand the bracket. Right? Then when you expand the bracket here, m squared, this square is common for m as well as a to the power minus 1. If you expand the bracket, you want to understand here, you are getting what? You are getting here m squared. S minus 1 squared means you want to understand s minus 2. S minus 1 power whole squared means s minus 2 into kg m minus 3. Finally we can write down units of capital K going to be kg. Right, normally we arrange kilogram first, then meters, and last one is seconds in a unit system. Kg, then m squared and m minus 3. When you consider m to the power 2 and m to the power minus 3, that's going to be how much? M to the power minus 1. M to the power minus 1, s to the power minus 2. Story. Simple. Then we get the idea. Units of capital K going to be kg, m minus 1, s minus 2. Then what is the right answer for question number 2? Kg, m minus 1, s minus 2. Answer is question number 3, answer is fourth one. Question number 3, answer is fourth one. Can do. Right, understandable, not difficult. Anyone can do, right? Okay. Write every point, everything I write in the board, you write in your discussion book. Take a separate CR book. In that CR book, put a name, paper, book, and write all this discussion in that CR book. Next story. Next idea, question number fourth one. Number 4. Question number 4 idea, right? Okay. Fourth one is a kind of vector question. It's a good question. Figure shows coplanar forces AB, BD, DE, AC, CE, AF, FE acting. Which gives the resultant. Now they have given, I think, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 vectors, I think. Now they have given 7 vectors and you want to find the resultant vector. So in that story, we learned, right, when finding addition of vectors, if not when finding resultant vectors, we use some set of laws. You can remember triangle law, parallelogram law, polygon law, right? We can remember triangle law and parallelogram law that is used to find the resultant of 2 vectors. But polygon law, in case in a system if there are more vectors, more than 2 vectors, if you want to find the resultant or addition of those vectors, we are using polygon law. You can remember the story. Right, small stories you can remember, but just refer. In case if you forgot what is triangle law, what is polygon law, what is parallelogram law, quickly today after discussion finishes, take 1 hour, 2 hour time and quickly refer that stories. Don't let yourself to forget the theories. Daily basis, what you do, revise. Right, if you can't always refer the note again and again, prepare a short notebook and keep the short notebook with you. Right, in a theory note, every point we don't forget. Right, we can remember some equations, we can remember some theory points, but what happens is some important theory points, if you don't touch with that lesson, you will forget. In that case, those important points, to memorize important points, bring those important points into a separate book in the beginning stages. Right, if you practice for 1 year, upcoming 1 year, then you don't require separate books. Right, in the beginning to memorize and to keep in touch with the important theory points, the points that you easily forget, brief into a small book and refer it daily basis. That's how we are improving. If not remember, we can't improve. Right, if not remember, there is no way to remember, no, but you all know, day by day revise it. Right, in the very first day, you revise very first day, tomorrow you completely forget everything you revised. But again tomorrow when you revise it, the third day you can remember somewhat, around 25% points, theories that you learned yesterday, you can remember. More and more when you revise it, the percentage of the content that you can remember is high. That's what happens. Therefore, find a way to revise daily basis. Okay, fourth one, I will do the diagram. That diagram story, there are 7 vectors. In that diagram, there are 7 vectors. In that diagram, there are 7 vectors. In that diagram. In this diagram, there are 7 vectors. 7 vectors. This diagram. Okay. Now, right. The points are capital A. This is capital A point. Point capital B. Point capital C. Point capital D. Point capital D. point capital E and point capital F, point capital E and point capital F. These are the points. Okay. Vectors ni vector AB vector, then BC vector, CD vector ni. Then they have given DE vector, AC vector and CE vector. And also you can see this AF vector and FE vector. AF vector and FE vector. Now there are 7 vectors. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think 8 vectors. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 vectors. There are 8 vectors. You want to find the resultant. If not, you want to find the addition of these 8 vectors. What we can do? What we can do? Remember triangle law story, triangle law idea. Triangle law. So now we talked about 3 types of vector additions to triangle law, polygon law, and parallelogram law. Mostly this type of questions mainly we are using triangle law and polygon law, triangle law and polygon law. A small brief. What is triangle law, polygon law? Small brief. Sir, when there are 2 vectors, if you can remember, right? Triangle law means simple idea. Triangle law means we can remember when there are 2 vectors. When there are 2 vectors, we can only apply for 2 vectors. If you want to find the resultant or addition of 2 vectors, we can apply triangle law, right? Then what you want to do is, right, in a system, there are 2 vectors, maybe different directions. There are 2 vectors. What you want to do is arrange those 2 vectors in the same direction. Right, for example, right, first vector is like this. Right, when you're drawing, first vector row like this. And from the point you finished with the first vector, start drawing second vector. Right, when there are 2 vectors, from the point where first vector finishes, start drawing second vector, right? But you want to ensure arrows of this vector should flow in one direction. See, arrows are flowing in same direction. This arrow can't be this direction. Then arrows are not flowing in same direction. No. In this case, arrows are flowing in the opposite directions. No. Ensure arrows are flowing in the same direction. Then starting point is this is the starting point, this is the ending point. If you draw a straight line connecting starting point, ending point, that is what we are calling as the resultant, if not addition of these 2 vectors. Resultant, if not addition of these 2 vectors. And polygon law means, remember, in a system when there are more than 2 vectors. Right, polygon vector story we can remember, polygon law. Polygon law idea we can remember when there are more than 2 vectors. That means 3 vectors, 5 vectors, 10 vectors. Same idea only. Arrange, if not draw those set of vectors, right? Always ensure from the point you should draw them when you're drawing those vectors. From the point where you finished drawing the first vector, start drawing second vector, start drawing third vector, start drawing fourth vector, likewise. But ensure from the point where you finish drawing the first vector, should start drawing second vector. From the point where you finish drawing the second vector, should start drawing third vector. That's the way you should draw all the vectors in that system. Starting point is here. For example, final point is here. When you connect these, starting point to final point, arrow. Starting point to final point, arrow. That is the resultant to addition of these 4 vectors. This is the idea of polygon law. Polygon law can't explain to that level, but you can remember. Now see what I'm going to do now. See very carefully what I am doing. Very simple story. Now your eye should like an eagle's eye. Right, your eye want to go here and there, and your eye want to catch some important stories. But the way that I look at the diagram and the way that you look at the diagram completely different. No. But sometimes the way I get the answer and the way that you get the answer can be different. Sometimes even I have this much of experience, my method can be long methods. Sometimes your method can be short method. Depends no. So therefore you want to bring your eye here and there everywhere in the diagram. Sir, I got an idea, sir. If I consider these 2 vectors, look here, sir. When I consider this AF and FE vector, I can apply triangle law because you told, right? Just consider if I do this AF vector, A to F, starting point is A to F. From the point first vector finished, second vector starting, FE. Arrows are flowing in same direction. When I consider AF and FE vector, starting point is A, finishing point is E, arrows are flowing in same direction. Then, sir, resultant of these 2 vectors, AF and FE, resultant of those 2 vectors going to be, sir, AE, right? Instead of representing AF and FE vector, resultant of these two vectors going to be AE. Raise your hands, got the idea and some. Rather than drawing AF and FE, I can draw AE, hands up. Idea is clear, hands up. Idea is okay, hands up. Idea is okay. Idea is okay, understandable. Idea is okay. Idea is okay, understandable, no issue. Can understand me? Beautiful, no? Beautiful. Right, okay. So what I am doing? I am removing AF and FE vector because these two represented by the single one. I am removing these two. Can remove? We can remove. Okay. Instead of drawing AF and FE vector, I drew AE vector. Can do ni? Can do. Like super ni. Likewise, look at here. When I consider AC and CE vector, AC, CE. Again, starting point is A. I finished drawing AC vector at point capital C. From the point I finished at point capital C, I started drawing second vector CE. Arrows are flowing same direction. Arrows are flowing same direction. Starting point is A, finishing point is E. Sir, that means resultant of AC and CE vector must be again A. Resultant of AC and CE vector must be again AE. Therefore, starting AC and CE, resultant is AE, starting point is A, finishing point is E, resultant is AE. Right, blue color arrow. So instead of drawing AC and CE, I can represent it by AE vector. I'm erasing that one. Okay, okay, right, okay. Okay. Now, sir, look at this one. AB, BC, CD, DE. Starting point is A. Now there are four vectors. A, B, B, C, C, D, D, E. There are four vectors. Those four vectors, from the point first vector finishes, second vector is drawn. From the point second vector finishes, third vector is drawn. From the point the third vector is finished, fourth vector is drawn. Arrows are flowing in same direction. Then what can we say about the resultant vector of AB, BC, CD, DE? Again AE, resultant of these four vectors, starting point is A, finishing point is E. Resultant of AB, BC, CD, D is again same as AE. Therefore, sir, again AE, another AE. All together we notice finally, system briefs into 3AE. There are 3A vectors. Result is 3A. Nice question. The result vector, remember, result vector is 3AE vector resultant. Nice question. Nicely. Nice idea. Nice idea. And if you're having a doubt, ask. Reply to Suleiman. If you're having a doubt, even a small doubt, don't give a small doubt. If you have a small doubt, also ask. Ask and learn. Ask and learn. That's the best way of learning. Nice story. Fourth one also done. Fourth one answer must be, I think, 3A. Question number fourth one answer is option number 5. Number 5 idea. Then question number 5. Right, 25 secrets are there. Number 5 idea. Right, okay. Coplanar, that's easily simple story. If the coplanar forces are acting as shown in the figure, what are the horizontal and vertical components of the resultant force? Respectively, they are asking what are the horizontal and vertical components of the resultant force. They are asking resultant horizontal force component and resultant vertical force component. Can do ni. We have done very complex questions. This is very basic question. Really basic question. Really basic question. Right. Really basic question. Right, okay. Next story, I'll do the diagram number 5. Number 5 diagram. Right, you also copy it down, okay? Don't just listen to the discussion. There is no point if you are just listening. There is no point. What you want to do is take a CR book and write the discussion. Right, hereafter, all the paper class discussion, you want to maintain one separate CR book. Every discussion, every question discussion, if you feel like something is important, the point that you could not remember when you do the paper, write everything summarized into your separate that short note point book. Please do that. If you want to get a result. If you really want to end this journey with a result, please do what I'm saying. Definitely you can get A. Okay. Right. Okay. Next story. Then diagram story. diagram idea, right? Okay. All right. Okay. There are how many vectors? There are around directly. I'm not showing the vector components. Directly, I'm getting the answer. Okay. Right. We don't have time to resolve the vector components and getting the answer. We don't have time. 8 root 3. Right. This is 3 Newton. Right side direction 3 Newton. And then again 2 root 3 Newton. 2 root 3 Newton. This is 2 root 3 Newton. 2 root 3 Newton. And 3 Newton again, 3 Newton, 3 Newton, 3 root 2 Newton, 3 root 2 Newton, and this one is horizontal line. This one is horizontal line, and this is 2 Newton. Finally, it's 2 Newton. Finally, it's 2 Newton super. It's 2 Newton super. Okay. Angles are given 60, 60, 30, 45. This angle is 60. This angle is 60, 60, 60. This angle is 30 degrees. Angle 30 degrees. And this angle is 45 degree. Angle is 45 degree. Super ni. Super. I think altogether how many vectors are there? There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 vectors. Altogether there are 6 vectors. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now what you want to do is you want to find the resultant horizontal vector. You want to find resultant horizontal force component. That is capital X. That capital X, you can remember, normally we consider right side vector components are positive and left side vector components we consider negative. Right, I told you, I can't explain every important point. Look here. Right, what is the horizontal now? When you consider 8 root 3, horizontal vector component is what? 8 root 3 cos 60. 8 root 3 cos 60. You can remember why. I don't explain why. We learned in our classes. Right? 8 root 3 cos 60. Okay? Cos 60 means half. Cos 60 means half. Right? Cos 60 means half. Right? 8 root 3 cos 60. Okay? Cos 60. Right? Normally right side vectors are positive. We consider left side vectors are negative. Right side vectors are positive and we take left side vectors are negative. That is the idea. Then 3 is right side direction, plus 3, and if you resolve 2 root 3 into horizontal component, 2 root 3 cos 60, 2 root 3 cos 60, why? Right, the horizontal component only touching the angle 60, 2 root 3 cos 60, right side positive, 2 root 3 cos 60, right? Okay, now I found the horizontal components of these two. This one done. Vertical component does not contribute for the horizontal components. Vertical component does not contribute for the horizontal components. No. So therefore these three done and these two only pending. Right? What is the horizontal component of 2? 2 cos 30 left side. 2 cos 30 left side direction. Therefore minus 2 cos 30, minus 2 cos 30, minus 2 cos 30. This one is again horizontal component of 3 root 2 sine 45. 3 root 2 cos 45 is vertical. 3 root 2 sine 45 is horizontal left side. 3 root 2 sine 45 minus 3 root 2 sine 45 super idea. Right now hereafter we are doing so many papers. Past papers, 25 years of past papers in the beginning, another 10 years of past papers in our second stage. Right, we are opening multiple, we are doing model papers, target papers, term test papers. This will happen continuously hereafter. It's time to give priority for 28 batch people now onwards. We have a different plan. So I only expect you to work with me. Do what I say. Right, today I don't know how many of you really only I saw one student only send their homework. It's up to you, it's your choice. Right, we did a hint class from the motion graph section. I told you, right, question number 19, 11, 12, 13. Yeah, most of you told like question number 11 is a bit difficult, but I give the idea. Based on that idea, you should try to do somehow. If you could not do it, fine, it's okay. But today, before 11:59, you want to submit the homeworks. As a practice, always stick into those rules, stick into those commitments. Right? Always keep the commitment. Right? In university, when you go to university, remember, daily, weekly basis, there are so many submissions that you want to do in each and every module. Every subject that you learn in university, weekly you have around 10 to 15 submissions sometimes, right? If you could, because entire 100 marks, now every module that you select in a university, 100 marks entirely won't come in the exam paper given end of the semester. Only 50%, only 40% will come from the paper, remaining 60% coming from continuous assessments. So therefore remember now, homework submission, think like a serious stuff. Think like, in case if I could not do the homework, I won't even pass my exam. That's how you want to think. Then only you get the motive to do the homeworks. Now do the homeworks now. Now 6 months past now. Now you want to work like a pro level student now. Right? Only I noticed that only one student sent the homework. Other than that, I haven't seen anyone send the homework. I don't know, but should do. Should do. That's the way. That's the way. That's the way. Right, okay. Simplification, done. Right, other than this vertical component, remaining people are contributing for horizontal force components, done. A small simplification then, simplification, right, okay. 8 root 3 cos 60. Cos 60 means half. Okay, 8 root 3 cos 60 means half, then half. Plus 3. Plus 3. Right, then plus 2 root 3 cos 60 means again half. Again half. Right, then minus 2 cos 30 means root 3 over 2. Root 3 over 2. Root 3 over 2. Again minus 3 root 2. Minus 3 root 2. Minus 3 root 2. Sin 44 means 1 over root 2. 1 over root 2. 1 over root 2. Simple story. Now simplification. Simplification is your job. Your job. Right, 8 root 3 over 2 means how much? 4 root 3. If you have a simplification problem, then reply. I will guide you some tips. I will tell you some tips how to improve your simplification skills. Plus 3. Then plus 3. Then 2 root 3 over 2 means 2 to cancel out. 2 to cancel out. The remaining is only root 3. Plus root 3. Right, plus root 3. Then again this 2 cancel out. Remaining is minus root 3. Minus root 3. And again root 2 cancel out. Remaining is minus 3. The remaining is minus 3. Then look here. Now plus root 3 and minus root 3 cancel out. Plus 3 and minus 3 cancel out. The final answer is what? Resultant horizontal force component. Resultant horizontal force component, that is going to be equal to how much? Exactly 4 root 3 out. Resultant horizontal force component, that is exactly equal to 4 root 3 Newton. Newton. Likewise, when you find the vertical force component, resultant vertical force component capital Y, let's consider upward vectors are positive and downward vectors are negative. When you consider upward vectors are positive and downward vectors are negative, that story. That story. Now 3 does not contribute for the vertical component. What is the vertical component of 8 root 3? 8 root 3 sin 60 upward. 8 root 3 sin 60 upward. 8 root 3 sin 60 upward. Sin 60 upward. Done. Then this one. What is the vertical component of 2? 2 cos 30 horizontal 1. 2 sin 30 upwards. Plus 2 sin 30. Plus 2 sin 30. Plus 2 sin 30. Plus 2 sin 30. What else? Then this one. 3 root 2 downward. 3 root 2 cos 45 downward. Therefore minus. Downward vectors are negative. Minus 3 root 2 cos 45. Minus 3 root 2. Minus 3 root 2 cos 45. 3 root 2 cos 45. Cos 45. Again downward 3 minus 3. Minus 3. Right, again 2 root 3 cos 60 is horizontal. What is the vertical component of 2 root 3? 2 root 3 sin 60. 2 root 3 cos 60 horizontal. 2 root 3 sin 60 downwards. Minus 2 root 3 sin 60. Sin 60. Clear? Simple. Now small simplification. Now what we can do now finally, sir? Now what we can do, simplification. Right, 8 root 3 sin 60 means what? Root 3 over 2. Sin 60 means root 3 over 2. Root 3 over 2, simplification. Plus 2 sin 30 means what? Sin 30 means half. Right, you should remember the sine constant values 0, 30, 45 degree, 60, 90 values, sine constant values. Right, within 1 second, if I ask you sine 30, sine 60, sine 90, cos 30, cos 90, cos 60, within 1 second, less than 1 second, you should be able to tell the answer. In the classes, I try to make you memorize it. Every day can't do ni. Every day can't ask me, tell me sine 30, cos 30, not a small class ni. Okay, minus 3 root 2 cos 45 means we all know 1 over root 2. Cos 45 means 1 over root 2. 1 over root 2. Minus 3 minus this 2 root 3. 2 root 3. Remember now sine 60 means root 3 over 2 again. Again root 3 over 2. Root 3 over 2 take some time. Take some time. Some MCQs you can do it easily. Some MCQs you take some time. That's the way. That's the way finally. Right, okay, final answer. Now 2 I can cancel out it. If I divide 2 by 2, 1. If I divide 8 by 2, it's 4. Then root 3 and root 3 is just 3. Ni? Root 3, if you multiply, remember root 3 by root 3, the answer is just 3. Root 3, if you multiply by root 3, remember, answer is just 3. Why? Root 3 and root 3 is what? Root 3 is scared. Root 3 is scared. Scared and root cancel out. The remaining is only 3. Remaining is only 3. Then here 4 into 3 is 12. Ni? It's 12. 12. 2 to cancel out. Answer is only 1 plus 1. 12 plus 1. Root to cancel out. Minus 3. Minus 3. Again minus 3. Right. Again 2 to cancel out. Root 3 into root 3 is just 3. Minus 3. Here 12 plus 1 is 13. Minus 3, minus 3, minus 3. Minus 9. 13 minus 9. 13 minus 9. Answer is 4. Answer is 4. 4 Newton. It took some time to get the answer, but we got the answer somehow. Question number 5 also done. What is the answer then? X is 4 root 3 and Y is 4. 4 root 3, 4. What is the answer? Tell me what is the answer in that question. What is the answer? 4 root 3 and 4. What is the answer in that question? 4 root 3, 4. What is the answer in that question? Answer is what? Option number what? What is the answer? Answer must be, I think third one. Okay, thank you. Now it's third one. No, I don't know. Third one. Someone cross check that. Third one is the answer. 5. Answer is third one. Super. Super. Nice. Okay, next story. Number 5. We have another 20 to go. 20 to go. Time is 8:45. We'll take a break around 8 o'clock. We'll take a break around 9:30 something. 9:30 we'll take a small break. 9:30 we'll take a small break. Right, okay. Number 6. Number 6. Okay, good question. Number 6. 4 students have written the units of force as given below. Right, look here. Question number 6. Nice question. Can learn something. Right, please put the important points in a short note point book for sure. You can learn something. You can learn something. You can learn something. Question number 6. Now there are 4 answers for the units of force. Right? Option A, they mention kgm is minus. The problem is there is no gap between those units. Option A, there is no gap. You can remember when you are writing kilogram, meter, second, there should be a gap between kilogram and meter and second. Therefore, definitely this is wrong. We learned. If you write down kgm is minus 2 without any gap, remember that is not acceptable way of writing the units. Wrong. The remaining answers, kgm is minus 2, same thing they have written by keeping the gaps. That is acceptable. Correct. Right, same thing they written by maintaining gaps. This is correct one. I told you in between kilogram, meter and second there must be gap, small gap. Don't keep big gap. Don't keep that much big gaps. Keep a small gap. That is correct. Third option is remember C option is kgm is minus 2. Look at kg, kilogram. There is gap between kilogram and meter. Then division is squared. That is also possible. Right? What will happen when s to the power minus 2 comes to the denominator? It becomes division s square. This is also correct. S to the power minus 2 comes to the denominator. That becomes s square. Kgm is square. Correct. Like capital C. Sorry, C. This C part. This C. D is Newton. D is Newton. That is correct. Newton is the you need to measure the force. That's correct. Therefore, A is wrong. B, C, D right. A is wrong. B, C, D right. A is wrong, B, C, D correct. A is wrong, B, C, D correct. Therefore, right answer is option number 5. Question number 6 answer is 5. Question number 6 answer must be 5. Answer must be 5. Right, okay. Then number 7 idea. Number 7 is a very good question. Really good question. Star question. Number 7 is very tricky questions. Star question. It's a good question. Number 7 is a good question. Right, okay. Now, what they are saying, in the diagram drawn according to scale, what is the sum of 4 vectors OA, OB, OC, OD? Again, they have given 4 vectors. They are asking us to find the resultant of those 4 vectors. Right, look here. We can obtain the kind of idea about their directions and magnitudes of those vectors. Magnitudes of those vectors we can obtain by the boxes. Look here. Nice question. Right, okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 boxes, no? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 boxes. Very carefully listen to this idea. It's a good question. It's a really good question. It's a really good question. It's a kind of good question. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in boxes. Carefully listen what I'm doing. You can roughly see the boxes now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now there are 4 vectors. Right? First vector is I think OA. OD, that is in the left side direction. Point capital O is here, point capital D is here, OD is left side direction. If I ask you, what is the magnitude of OD? Tell me in terms of number of boxes. What is the length, if not magnitude of OD vector? 1, 2, 3, 3 boxes. Magnitude of vector OD is 3 boxes. Clearly? Clear? Likewise, there are 2 vectors OB. You can see OB vector. This point is point capital B. That is right side direction. Reply everyone in the Zoom chat. What is the magnitude of OB vector? What is the magnitude of OB vector? If you consider magnitude of OD vector is 3, what should be the magnitude of OD vector? What must be the magnitude of OD vector? Reply everyone. OD is 3. What about OD, OB? What about OB vector? Magnitude OB is how much? Reply everyone. It's 2, ni? 2 boxes, ni? Very good, 2 boxes, ni? 1 box, 2 box, right? Okay. There are another 2 vector OA and OC. But remember, if I ask you what is the magnitude of OA vector, remember, you can't do 2 boxes wrong. Huh? Right? This length is not equal to 2 boxes. Ni? This length is equal to 2 boxes. When you consider OB and OD, their lengths equal to number of boxes, 3 boxes and 2 boxes. But when you consider vector OA, its length is not 2 boxes. Ni? Right? Just this triangle. This triangle, for an example, triangle is your OA. 2 box means this is the length of 2 box. 1 box, 2 box, this is the length of 2 box. This is 1 box. If I ask you what is the magnitude of OA, you want to apply Pythagoras theorem and you want to find the magnitude. Right? If I ask you in case, what is the magnitude of this OA vector, right? This side belongs to 2 boxes. This is belong to 1 box. Then 2 and 1, right angle triangle. By applying Pythagoras theorem only, I want to find length. Hands up, got the idea. In case if I ask you what is the magnitude of OA vector, by applying Pythagoras theorem only, I want to find the length x answer. That idea got the idea answer. If I ask you what is the length, what is the magnitude of OA vector, this side is 2 boxes, 1 box. I want to apply Pythagoras theorem and then only I can find the magnitude of OA vector answer. The idea is super ni. Understandable super. Okay, nice. Right, okay. Next story. Then no need to find. Then OC also having same magnitude. OC also having same magnitude. Is OC vector. They mentioned this point is point capital E, not important for now. We'll look at it later. Right, okay. Now how to find the resultant of these four vectors? Okay, very nice question. Simple idea, not difficult. Very nice question. You can remember parallelogram law. I thought of finding resultant of OA and OC vector by applying parallelogram law. So what is parallelogram law? Can you give a small idea? Once again we learned. Once again small idea. Parallelogram law. Look here, simple idea. Right, if you represent two vectors, now if you want to find the resultant of two vectors, right, represent those two vectors, right, diverging from one common point. Right, draw those two vectors diverging from one common point. Okay, for an example, there are two vectors like this. Like this is one vector and another vector is like this. So represent this vector simply, vector simple B, represent those two vectors diverging from one common point. If I draw these two vectors diverging from that point, spreading out from that point, spreading out, leaving away from that point, then the way is like this. If I draw these two vectors diverging from one common point, is the common point O whatever. Alright, then complete the parallelogram. We learned when you complete the parallelogram, we can remember, sir, the diagonal passing from the common point to the opposite corner. The diagonal in the parallelogram, the diagonal passing from the common point to the opposite corner will be the resultant, will be the addition of this vector A and B. Addition of these two vectors going to be the diagonal passing from common point to the opposite corner. That idea we learn. That idea, sir, I thought of finding OA and OC vector resultant of OA and OC by following the parallelogram law. If I complete the already OA and OC are diverging from common point only. Already OA and OC are diverging from common point only. If we complete the parallelogram then, sir, parallelogram, clear. My question is, let's see how many of you can answer. What is the magnitude in number of boxes? Tell me, what is the magnitude of resultant of OA and OC? What is the magnitude of resultant of OA and OC? Number of boxes, tell me. Anyone? I got one answer. Atifa told, super. Who else? What is the magnitude resultant of OA and OC in terms of number of boxes? Asha, Dimni, Zainab. Can understand, super, no? Keep on responding. That is the way to interact with me, no? Right, 4 boxes, super, 4 boxes. Why? If I do the resultant of OA and OC, that is the diagonal starting from common point to the opposite point. Sir, this is the resultant. Red color one I drew, you can see it, I don't know, you can see it or not. This is the resultant, 4 boxes. That's all. So that means, summary simple. That means, sir, rather than writing OA and OC vector, I can represent these two by single vector red color one having magnitude 4. Right, red color one having a magnitude 4. Look here, that vector is vector E something, whatever, O E something. Resultant of OA and OC is, let's take it as OE. That is right side OE. Magnitude is how much? It's 4. And there is OB vector, that is also right side direction. Magnitude of OB vector is how much? That is 2 boxes need 2. Magnitude of OB vector is how much? 2 boxes. It's 2 boxes, 2. And there is another vector, that is OD vector, that is in the left side direction. There is a left side direction, magnitude is how much? OD magnitude is 3. Tell me, There are three vectors, right side 4, right side 2, left side 3. What is the resultant of these three vectors? Right side 4 and right side 2 means right side 6. Here left side 3. Right side 6 and left side 3 means resultant is right side 3. The resultant vector, going to remember, resultant vector is a vector having magnitude 3 in the right side direction. Clearly, resultant is a vector having magnitude 3 in the right side direction. That is clear. That is clear. The problem is, now given answers. Given answers is a problem. So given answers, if I check any answer, now they are telling, they are saying, right, in the diagram drawn according to scale, what is the sum of four vectors OA, OB, OC, OD with point O as origin? What is the answer? Option number 5. Why? Resultant vector is in the right side direction. If not in the direction of O, in the direction of O, B, right? Sorry, made a mistake. In the direction of, this is point capital B, this is point capital E, yeah? This is point capital E, this is point capital B, okay? Am I correct? No, this is point capital B, this is point capital B, yeah? This is point capital B, this is point capital B. Right? This is point capital E, F, point capital F. Anyhow, idea, we got the idea, resultant is right side direction, magnitude is 3. Right? When you consider, look at this OE vector. See, here's OE, yeah? My bad. Right? Point O, point E, point B. Right? So result is in the right side direction. That means in the direction of OE. OE also in the right side direction, no? OE vector also in the right side direction. But remember, resultant vector is, if I ask you what is the magnitude of OE, that is 1. Magnitude of OE is 1. Resultant magnitude is 3. Therefore, resultant vector is 3OE. 3OE, 3 times larger than OE in the direction of OE. 3 times the resultant vector is 3 times larger than OE in the direction of OE. Super ni. Question number 7 answer is 5, I think. 5 ni. Question number 7 answer is 5. It's a nice question. It's a good question. Any team, how many of you got this answer? When you were doing the paper, how many of you got the answer of 3 OE and some? Let's see. If you got the answer, nice. If you could not, also fine. How many of you could get the answer when you were doing the paper? Raise your hands. How many of you could get the answer when you did the paper hands? There is one. Super ni. There is one super. One super. Right, super. Okay ni. Nice question, super. 7 done ni. 9 o'clock, 9:30 we'll take a break, super. Then question number 8 also very good question. 8 also very good question. You can learn something. Right, 8 and 10 good questions. And again 14 good question. 8, the two forces, capital F and 2 capital F. There are two forces, capital F and 2 capital F. Right, acting on a point. There are two forces, capital F and 2 capital F, acting on a point. And they have a resultant force perpendicular to a smaller force, capital F. They are telling resultant force is perpendicular to smaller force. Okay, still I have no idea. I think similar question I have done in your classes. I can't remember exactly. Okay. Find the angles subtended. Find the angles subtended between the given two forces. Right, please mute yourself, Rukaya Riaz. Mute yourself, girl. Rukaya Riaz, girl. Mute yourself, girl. Okay, ni? Right, okay. Okay. Right, okay. Okay, ni? Right, okay. Question number 81. Question number 81. So I will tell you a homework, and that homework also should be sent in the group. In the homework group, I share the links in the groups. Homework group link is shared in the group. What you want to do is, after discussion, you want to do a homework. Right? I will keep a track, okay, based on students' performance. I will separately note on my tab. This one is working. This one is not working. Right? I am keeping separate sheet and I am marking them. Even you know, you don't know. That's how normally for 27 batch people now I am planning to give a separate plan for them individually. Everyone I'm giving a plan. But the people who really work harder, I thought of taking only them separately and doing a kind of special classes only for them. Because people who work only, we can give an extra load. Already we have a too much of load. People who only work, people who only follow what I say only, we can train them specially for the A plus result. Therefore, likewise in your batch also, I want that level people. Now it's time to work harder, right? Follow what I tell, right? I want to see, you want to let me somehow that you are working. If not, I don't know, especially online people want to let me, the physical class I can see based on the people, the way they do the question, when they finish the question, I can see this guy is working, this guy is not working, this guy want my help. But especially online people, remember, there is no any particular way to track your progress. So I can't see whether you are working or not. Therefore, you want to let me some more, sir, this homework done. So this is the way. So I have this type of doubts. When can we have a small session? Shall we discuss these questions? Likewise, you want to put message to me. Then only I can see you, no? Right, okay. Okay. Next story. Question number 8 is a very good question. That is also a star question. Huh? Star question. Number 8 is also a good question, star question. Now they mention one story. Now there are two vectors. They have given magnitudes. One is capital F and other one is 2 capital F. But they haven't mentioned what is they are asking the question angle between them only. Right? I will ask you one question. Now they mention there are two vectors. Right? There are two vectors. Let's say one vector is, now I don't know exactly their directions. If I assume like one of the vectors, smaller one, that is in the right side direction, then I think like, I'm not sure, the second vector, the larger one is 2 capital F. They mentioned smaller one is capital F and larger one is 2 capital F. Right, okay. Also now in the question they are asking what is the angle between these two vectors, small and large vector angle between them is they are asking. I want to find theta only, but they have given a small hint. Resultant of those two vectors, F and 2F, resultant of these two vectors is perpendicular to the smaller one. F is the smaller one, resultant of these two vectors is perpendicular to the smaller one. If I draw, that means you are telling, okay, there are two vectors, right? Angle between them is theta. That's how I mark this diagram. They mentioned the resultant of these two vectors is perpendicular to the smaller one. I have no idea what they are telling, but resultant, red color one, resultant is perpendicular to the smaller one. Is it okay? Hands up who says my diagram is correct, hands up. Raise your hands how many we say my diagram is correct and resultant vector is perpendicular to smaller one. How many of you agree? My diagram is correct, hands up. Option 1, my diagram is okay, no any issue. Option number 2, sir, I feel like there's a small issue in your diagram. Option number 2, hands up. I feel like this diagram is somewhat weird, sir. Somewhat weird than what we learned and how we mark resultant forces. This diagram seems like weird, sir. Because we all know this, we can remember, we marked, if you can remember, normally when you represent two vectors, put in your mind, important short note point, remember, if you represent two vectors normally, right, if you represent two vectors, let's say vector P and vector Q for an example, vector P and vector Q diverging from common point, remember, if you represent two vectors, diverging from common point, resultant should be always, very important point, resultant should be always passing through the common point between those two vectors. Resultant should be passing through that common point. Remember, when you represent two vectors diverging from common point, resultant will be passing through the common point between those two vectors. But in this story, is the way. But in this, the way that I drew the diagrams here, the diagram that you drew, resultant is not passing through the two forces. Right, in your diagram, resultant is not passing through these two forces. But they mention no, sir, yeah, I understand resultant is not passing between these two forces. But they mention no, resultant is perpendicular to smaller one. That's why I mark resultant like this. What is the issue? Reply everyone. What is the problem? I want to ensure resultant passing through both the forces F and 2F. Also, resultant must be perpendicular to F also. Remember, resultant must be perpendicular to F also. Resultant must be passing through F and to F also. What we can do? Anyone? What we can do? Anyone? Reply. What we can do? What we can do? Anyone? What we can do? Anyone? Then we realize you did a small mistake because you considered now angle between 2F and F must be a kind of acute angle. But based on this given data, what I understand is this angle should be a kind of obtuse angle. Then only it satisfies both the conditions. So you are okay. I will draw small force first. If I draw small force first, capital F. Yeah, before drawing the larger force, before drawing the second force, we know the resultant is perpendicular to capital F. Therefore, yeah, no way we should draw the resultant perpendicular to capital F on the resultant. Okay, that is also fine. Right? Right, okay, result is perpendicular to capital F force. Right, and resultant must be between capital F and 2 capital F. Resultant must be passing through capital F and 2 capital F. Therefore, sir, you should draw your 2 capital F like this. You should draw your 2 capital F like this. Now look here. Resultant is passing through capital F and 2 capital F. Also, resultant is perpendicular to capital F. Clearly? Then angle between capital F and 2 capital F must be a kind of obtuse angle, sir. The way we are thinking, that means angle between capital F and 2 capital F must be an obtuse angle. Genuinely hands up. This idea clear hands up till now. Till now all okay hands up. Till now idea is 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 okay hands up. Super ni. Idea super. Super idea is simple. Learn something. People look. There are some people they can quickly think, but there are some people they have no idea. For them only I am doing this explanation. There are some people they don't want to think this level. By reading that question they know that angle must be a obtuse angle. Some people they can quickly grab it. Some people they take some time to grab it. For them to support only we are taking this much of time. Okay, okay, right? Okay, okay. Now hereafter, remember hereafter weekly we are writing papers. Okay. I noticed that especially now when you are uploading papers in the website, most of you I feel like not familiar, right? You want to take the photos, and there is a, if you don't know I will tell you and give, there is a kind of app in the Play Store. You can find Cam Scanner, right? There are some other apps also, but Cam Scanner we can use any device it supports. Then Cam Scanner, what you want to do is take the photos and you want to turn it to a PDF. Then only you want to upload to the website. I have seen some people only uploading one photo, because if you upload in terms of photos, you can only upload one photo only. Then that website won't allow you to upload more photos. That's why I told you you want to upload as a PDF. Okay, anyways. Okay, right, okay. So what if 2F is larger than 90? 90 clearly, right? Okay. They are asking us what they are asking something else. We'll take a break at 9:30. They are asking actually question number 8. This on question number 8 and question number what? Question number 14 might take long time. Remaining are easy. Remaining we can do quickly. Right? Some questions we take some time to explain. Right? Please in your short note point book, please don't write down. In your short note point book, everyone write down story. Very important point. Short note point book. Okay, right? Okay. Story, right? Okay, what they are saying now? Now they are asking find the angle subtended between the given two forces. You want to find this theta. Right? Now think practically. Think there are different ways of getting the answer. You want to find theta. Right? There are different ways of getting the answer. The easiest way is, look here. The easiest way is, shall we resolve this 2 capital F into horizontal and vertical components? This angle I will tell alpha. This entire angle is theta. This small angle alpha. Okay, no issue. If I resolve this 2 capital F into horizontal and vertical components, right? Capital F is right side direction. See, capital F is right side direction. Okay. Then 2 capital F. What is the horizontal component of 2 capital F? 2 capital F cos alpha. The vertical component of 2 capital F is, we all know, 2 capital F cos alpha. Right? The vertical component of 2 capital F is what? 2 capital F cos alpha. Cos alpha. And the horizontal component of 2 capital F is 2 capital F sin alpha left side direction. Right? Now very simple. There are two forces F and 2F. I resolve 2 capital F into 2 perpendicular components. Vertical one is 2F cos alpha. Horizontal one is left side direction 2F sin alpha. Right? Simple. Actually, there are two forces only. I broken them into 3 people now. There are 2 people only. I broken them into 3 people now only. They mentioned resultant of these 3 people is vertical direction. Right? That's why they mention resultant is vertical. They mention resultant of these 3 people is vertical direction. When they mention resultant of these 3 people is vertical direction, my question is, what can you say about the horizontal people? Anyone? Now there are 3 people. They told the resultant of these 3 people is vertical direction. What can you say about the horizontal people? What can you say about the horizontal people, these 2 people? In order to have resultant in the vertical direction, what will happen for these 2 horizontal people? Anyone? In order to have a resultant vertical, what can we say about the horizontal 2 people? Anyone? They should cancel off. Sir, now these 2 people should be equal and opposite. Then only these 2 cancel off and the result becomes only vertical. Am I correct? If there is no horizontal people only, resultant can become vertical. If there are horizontal people, resultant can't be vertical, resultant will be like this. Like this, no. Summary very simple. Sir, in order to have resultant vertical, horizontal component must be equal and opposite and they must cancel off. Very important point. So we can write down, sir. That means, sir, in order to have resultant force vertical, horizontal people should be cancelled out. Right? Therefore, we can write down, sir, 2 capital F sin alpha must be equal to what? Must be equal to capital F. Here, capital F cancel out. Sin alpha is how much? Sin alpha going to be, right here, 1 over 2. If you substitute sin alpha, 1 here 2. 2 sin alpha equals 1. Sin alpha equals 1 over 2. 1 over 2, when you substitute alpha, remember, alpha going to be equal to exactly how much? Sin alpha half means alpha is how much? Sin alpha half means alpha is 30. So they are asking theta. Tell me what is your theta? Reply everyone. They are asking angle between F and 2 capital F. We found alpha is 30. What is your theta? Reply everyone. What is your theta? Reply everyone. If they have given alpha is 30, what is your theta? Entire angle. This angle is 30 degrees. This angle 90. What is the entire angle? This entire angle going to be what? That is what? 120. 90 plus 30. 90, 30. Theta is 120. Nice question. Remember, final answer. Angle between those 2 forces must be 120. If you are having doubts, ask. 120 degrees. Nice question. Really good question. Right. Therefore, question number 8 answer is. How much? Question number 8 answer is the third one. Okay. Question option 1, option 2, option 3. Third one only. There are some mistakes that you would. Third one only. Number 3 only. Number 3. Question number 8 answer is number 3. Right. Okay. Then remaining are easy. 9th one is very easy. 9th one is saying what? 9th one, the viscous force acting on a sphere of radius simple r moving at speed v under laminar conditions in a viscous material is given by equation F equals KRV. Hence the dimensions of K. F means force, R means radius, V means speed. I want to find the K dimension. Number 9. Question number 9. Number 9. Equation is, we all know, F equals what? F equals KRV. F equals K RV, sir. K RV, I want to find dimensions of K. I want to find K dimensions when you substitute K. This K is equal to what? This K is equal to F over RV. K is equal to what? F over RV. F over RV. Now, K's dimensions. Sir, dimensions of K is equal to what? Dimensions of force. You can remember force dimensions we all know M, L, T minus 2. R, radius dimension. Radius is basically length, therefore capital L. Into speed dimensions, LT minus 2. LT minus 2. Sorry, my bad. LT minus 1. Speed dimensions, LT minus 1. Speed dimensions, LT minus 1. Simple name. Simplification here. Capital L cancel out. Capital L cancel out. When t to the power minus 2, in the denominator, t to the power minus 1. That becomes what? T to the power minus 1. When this L as the denominator goes to the numerator, it becomes L minus 1. Final answer, capital M, L minus 1. Final answer, capital M, L minus 1. Capital T minus 1 is your answer. Nice question. M, L minus 1, T minus 1. K dimensions, M, L minus 1, T minus 1, K dimensions, M, L minus 1, T minus 1, K dimensions. Super idea, right? Okay. And then 10th one is also one of the good question. You can put some points in the short note point book. Question number 10, you can put some points in your short note point book. Nice question. Any doubts? Right ni? No doubts ni? All okay ni? Super ni? 10th one, time is 9:17. We'll take a break in a while. 10th one is a good question. Right, okay. 10th one, start question. The maximum and minimum values of resultant of two forces, capital P and capital Q. Acting on a point is 23 Newton and 7 Newton. There are two forces. We don't know their magnitudes. They are telling maximum. That is the maximum. They are telling maximum and minimum value of resultant of two forces. Capital P and capital Q on a point is 23 and 7 Newton. Find the magnitude of the resultant when capital P and capital Q acts perpendicular to each other. Right, okay. You can remember, you can revise lots of theory points regarding vectors and important points from your short note point book. Remember, they are telling now there are two vectors. Let's see, now there are two vectors. One vector is capital P, magnitude. Other vector is capital Q. Normally, I mark two vectors in the diverge. If these two vectors are diverging from this common point, that's how I mark. There are two vectors having magnitudes capital P and capital Q. Let's consider now angle between those two vectors is theta. Angle between those two vectors is theta. Remember, normally we know that when there are two vectors arranged diverging from a common point, just now I explained that resultant vector will be passing through the common point between those two vectors. Resultant will be passing through the common point between those two vectors. That story we all know. What I want to tell you is, remember, based on the angle between those two vectors. Remember, based on the theta, remember, magnitude and direction of resultant changes. Remember, very important point. Remember, based on theta. Based on angle between two vectors, magnitude and direction both changes. Remember, based on theta, resultant vectors, magnitude and direction changes. Okay, resultant vectors, magnitude and direction changes. Very important point. Okay, very important point. Based on the angle between two, let's say now these two vectors having same magnitude P, Q. But remember, when this theta changes, angle between them 20 degree, 30 degree, 45 degree, 60 degree, 90, 120, 180, 270, based on theta value, remember, magnitude of resultant and direction changes. Very important story, changes. Okay. Remember the maximum. If you want to find the maximum magnitude resultant, remember, resultant becomes maximum. Very important point. Resultant, you will get resultant become maximum, right? When this theta is 0. Result becomes maximum, remember, when the angle between P and Q, theta, this theta, when theta becomes 0, when theta becomes 0 only, remember 0 only, resultant of those two vector becomes maximum. Why? Why? Look here. If theta is 0, remember if theta is 0, right, when this angle decreasing 30, 20, 10, 9, 8, 5, 7, 6, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. If the angle is 0, capital P and capital Q both are in same direction. Am I correct? Capital P and capital Q both are in same direction. Both vectors in same direction. Okay? Both the vectors in same direction. Capital P and capital Q both in same direction. When the angle is 0, remember, capital P and capital Q both are in same direction. In that case, remember, when the angle between two vectors is 0, both are in same direction. If you want to find resultant, remember, the maximum resultant force value, remember, that is equal to P plus Q. Clearly? If both the vectors are in same direction, what is the addition of those two vectors? What is the resultant of those two vectors? P plus Q. P plus Q. Very important equation. P plus Q. In your short note point book, write down very important story. Short note book, write down. In your short note point book, write down very important point. Very important point. Next important point, remember. Remember in paper class only, some people think like learning theory more than enough. That's wrong. If you ask me the contribution for the A level, if you plan to get A, right, the contribution from a theory class is at around 20%. Right, you can learn theories, you can practice some cute questions and you can thorough with the theory. But remember, just joining for a theory class, the exposure, if you plan to get A, theory class only supporting 20%. Paper class, past paper, model paper, target paper, all the papers, right, that exposure only supporting 80% to get A. But most of you don't join for a paper class, right? Sometimes people not even joining for a theory class, right? Remember paper class number 1, right? Normally year after 27 people, year after for your batch also, right, we have a main paper class time, that is Monday, okay? But currently we are doing online only. After few months later, physically also we are starting paper class, right? Currently Monday only, but we don't stick into Monday, right? We are not doing year after a class, time-based class. Normally we don't do. Normally I don't do a time-based class. I don't do, because normally what I do is by the end of 2028 August, what to be done? What I see is in order to pass most of the men, in order to obtain lots of A's from you all, because my future also depends on your result actually. Right, then what I do is by the end of 2028 August, what is the amount of work should be done my end? Then if we have only 2 years, exactly 2 years, this August, August 2026 August, 2027 August, 2028 August, exactly 2 years we have. For 2027 batch people, exactly 1 year they have. You have exactly 2 years. Then I just planned that to get A, even the average one, even the one below the average one, right, to bring them A, I defined in my end I should do this, and I planned something. Then by the end of 2 years, I should do those stuffs somehow. Then I divided 24 months. Then per month I realized I want to do this much of workload in this month. Then, right, I can't stick into a time, therefore classes won't be time-based, classes won't happen. Sometimes theory class can happen for time-based way, 4 hours, 4.5 an hour. But remember, paper classes won't become time-based stuff. Those are work-based paper classes. Till we complete the relevant month's work, we do classes. Therefore, there will be, we do a kind of fixed time, that is on Monday, but sometimes there will be some additional paper discussions, additional hint sessions, additional homework sessions. There will be happening year after. Okay, can learn something, okay, right? Okay. Right? Okay. In question 9k is a constant, right? So does it have dimensions? Remember, there are constants have dimensions. Don't misunderstand. Very important point. In your short note, write down. Remember, just because they say something is constant, that does not mean those does not have units wrong. Those does not have dimensions wrong. Remember, constants can have dimensions. Remember, constants can have dimensions. Right? Therefore, remember, some people in the mindset that if they mention something as constant, they don't have dimensions, it's wrong. There are some constants, they don't have dimensions and units. For an example, refractive index or medium, we will learn. But there are some constants, they have dimensions. For an example, viscosity. Likewise, the coefficient of viscosity. Likewise, coefficient of thermal expansion. We will learn that there are some constants, they have dimensions and units, right? In a statement question, they can ask you, all the constants have no dimensions, no, it's wrong. All the dimensions have constant, my bad. They can ask you in an exam, all the constants have dimensions and it's wrong. Or they can ask you, all the constants have no dimensions, no, it's wrong. Some constants have dimensions, some constants, they don't have dimensions. That is the idea. Idea okay, right? Okay. Next story. I was saying something simple. Remember now there are two vectors P and Q. Right? Result is capital R. Remember, based on the theta value, when theta changes, theta 10 degree, 20, 30, 40, 60, 90, based on theta value, magnitude and direction of R changes clearly. Remember, this R, for the R, you are getting the maximum value for the R. You are getting the maximum value for the R when the angle between P and Q is 0. When P and Q in same direction only, you are getting the maximum value for R. Right? Therefore, remember, the maximum value for the R is equal to what? Addition of P and Q. Okay. I will tell you. Next story is, remember, when the angle is, very important point, in a short run point, when the angle is 180 degrees, when theta equals exactly 108 degrees, then imagine, when your angle is exactly 180, when theta equals 0 now, theta equals 0 means P and Q same direction. When theta increasing 10 degree, 20, 30, 40, 50, 90, 110, 120, 130, 140, 180 means, remember, this Q is opposite to P. Right? Remember, when this theta equals 180 means, remember, this Q is opposite to P. Am I correct? Remember, when Q is opposite to P, remember P is right side, and now your Q is left side. This angle is now 180. This angle is 180. Am I correct? 180 degrees. Remember, when theta equals 180 degree, the R value is minimum. The R value is minimum. Remember, when theta value is 180 degrees, the R is minimum. Remember that minimum R value is equal to what? P minus Q. The minimum R value is, remember, equation. R minimum is equal to, remember, P minus Q equation. P minus Q equation learned by heart. Right? In your short note point book, write down, memorize. Write down, memorize. Short note point book, write down, memorize. Write down, memorize. Clearly? Right? For an example, I'm say now, there are two forces. One is 4 Newton, other one is 3 Newton. Right? This angle is theta. They can ask me in the exam, what is the maximum R value? Then in order to find the maximum R value, P and Q, these two forces must be in same direction. 4 plus 3, 7. R max means what? 4 plus 3, 7. P plus Q. They can ask you, what is the minimum value? What is the minimum value for the resultant for these two people? Then 4 minus 3, 1. R minimum is, remember, 4 minus 3, 1. That is the idea. Clearly? Now, this is very important story. Very important story. You can learn something in your exam. Okay. Now, what they do, what they asking, okay, they mentioned in the question. Read the question now. Read the question. Time is 9:30. Okay, we'll finish this question and we'll do what they mentioned. Read the question. You can learn a good knowledge. Right? People, especially doing private A levels, remember, if you're doing a private A level student, not private government also, if you're going for school or same, remember, right? This is the only way to evaluate yourself. Therefore, don't be lazy to join for a session, right? Don't be lazy to avoid writing papers. Never think I never prepared, sir. I haven't. Now, most of your mindset, sir, now I haven't prepared for the exam yet because recently only I joined, sir. Because I only can, I only understood this section only. Previous sections I could not cover. I could not watch recordings yet. Once I watch the recording and all, when you give the next exam, I will write the paper. No point. There is no point. People think like that's wrong point. Okay, last story. They are asking what they are asking. Question number 10. Right. Okay. Find the magnitude and find the magnitude of resultant when P and Q acts per. Okay, they are asking. Okay. Now they mentioned maximum and minimum value of resultant of two forces P and Q acting on a point is 23 and 7. Now they mentioned there are two forces, capital P and capital Q. The maximum resultant force of capital P and capital Q is 23. The minimum value of the resultant for that capital P and capital Q force is how much? 7. Do you understand? R max is 23, R min is 7. Right? They have mentioned R max. Now there are two forces P and Q. Right? The maximum resultant force value is 23. The minimum resultant force value is how much? 7. Then what we can do, we can find P and Q easily. In that question, sir, P plus Q ni maximum. R max means P plus Q ni, that is 23. Right? R min means P minus Q, that is 7. So simultaneous equation method, I can easily find what? Simultaneous equation method, I can easily find P and Q. Right? If I apply simultaneous equation 1 plus 2. Right? 1 plus 2, that is how much? That is equal to how much? That is equal to now, right, plus Q minus Q cancel out. Then if you add equation 1 and 2, plus Q minus Q cancel out. P plus P is what? 2P. 2 capital P is equal to how much? 23 plus 7, 30. When you substitute capital P is how much? 15. Likewise, you can find capital Q also. Now P plus Q is 23. P is 15 means 15 plus Q, 23. Q is how much? 23 minus 15. How much? 23 minus 15 means how much? 8. Q is 8. Q is 8 Newton. But they are asking, okay, right now you found those two forces magnitude P and P is how much? That is 15. Q is 8. But they are asking the question, what is the resultant of P and Q when they are perpendicular? They are asking when capital P 15 Newton and capital Q 8 Newton are perpendicular, what will be the magnitude of resultant? Right? What will be the resultant vector? We learned, sir, remember when there are two vectors perpendicular to each other, you can remember. Sir, when there are two vectors, short note point book, write down, sir, when there are two vectors, capital P and capital Q, perpendicular to each other, the resultant vector pass through the common point between two vectors. Resultant vector capital R is how much? Capital R is equal to, if you can remember, capital P squared plus capital Q squared entire root. When there are two vectors perpendicular to each other, resultant vector magnitude is how much? Capital P squared plus capital Q squared entire root equation we learned. These are the stories we learned actually in our class. Nice question, huh? Number 10, you can learn lots of stories. Nice question. Then sir, now substitution. They have given, okay, I found the magnitudes of two forces. One is 15, other one is 8. When they are perpendicular, they are asked the resultant. Then sir, resultant is how much? Capital R is how much? Capital R equals to P squared. That means 15 squared plus Q squared. Q is 8 squared entire root. 250 squared is 225. 8 squared is how much? 64 entire root. How much? 64, 74, 84, 89. 289 entire root. 17. I think 70 Newton. R is 70 Newton. Your capital R is how much exactly? Capital R is exactly 70 Newton. Capital R is 17 Newton super. Nice question. Nice question. We have done only 13 questions yet. We have another 15 to go. We have another 15 to go. Genuinely hands up. Then question number 10 answer is 17. Second one, I think someone cross check. Question number 17, 10, question number 10 answer is 17. Number 2. Number 2 ni. Genuinely hands up. We have done good questions till now. Till now, all the ideas very clear hands up. All the ideas very clear, sir. We learned something, we got something. We are writing the story in our separate discussion book, and important points writing in our short note point book. Everything is very clear and sub story clear till now. Idea beautiful, sir. Everything is very clear. Super, sir. Idea beautiful. Everything is super, sir. Super ni. Super ni idea. Super idea. Nice idea. Super. Now time is we should somehow complete at least the MCQ paper today. At least MCQ paper today at least. Right, time is 9:36 ni. We'll take not a big break. We'll take a small break and come. 15-minute break. 9:35, 9:40, 9:55, 9:35, 9:50. Come at 9:51. Drink something, eat something. Come at 9:51. Bring something, eat something. Come at 9:51. Okay ni? Yeah, a small break. Right, okay. I think give me a small thumb, video, voice, both clear. Give me a small reply, a small thumb. We have last 15 to go. Super ni, okay. Super ni. Last 15 to go. Okay. Again now time is 9:55. 9:55, then 10:55, 11. Maybe 11:15. That's the way, to discuss one session properly by explaining questions clearly. It takes some time only. It takes some time only. What to do, no? What to do? Question number 11. 11 idea, I think 11 is easy. Okay. Now number 11, what they are asking. Now again, don't let any reason to distract you. Now you took a break. I think you're fresh to yourself, right? Don't let any reason to make you distracted. That's what I can tell. Keep your attention till the last moment. Stay active, be active. That's what I can tell. Okay, right? Okay. Story. Then they are asking. Next they are asking what? Right? Okay. 11. 11th idea, 11th one, okay, that is easy. A particle starting from rest and moving with constant acceleration travels a distance of 20 meters in first second. The distance traveled in second. A particle starting from rest, particle starting from rest and moving with constant acceleration travels a distance of 20 meters in first second. In first second, 20 meters. Question number 11. 11th one. Let's say a particle is starting from rest. Initial velocity is 0 ms minus 1. 0 ms minus 1. This particle is moving under acceleration. Acceleration, I don't know actually. They haven't given. Acceleration is haven't given. Therefore, simply. When t equals 0, let's say particle is at point capital E something. When t equals 0, particle is at point capital E. In the first second, when the time is 1 second, the first second, when the time is 1 second, distance traveled by particle is given as 20 meters. Distance traveled by the particle is given as how much? 20 meters. 20 meters. 20 meters. 20 meters. This gap is how much? 20 meters. 20 meters. Clearly? Right, okay. Now they are asking, the time is 1 second. In the first second, distance traveled by the particle is how much? 20 meters. The question they are asking, distance traveled in the second second. The question they are asking the distance it travels in the second second. In the first second distance traveled is 20 meters, and the second second, t equals 1 to t equals 2 second. T equals 1 to t equals 2 second. T equals 1 to t equals 2 second, distance it travels. That idea. So you want to find actually this gap, simple x. T equals 1 to t equals 2 second, the second, distance it travels. So target. You want to first target. Now if you go with normal method, normal basic method, what you can do? If you go with the normal method, we all know that first of all, we'll find the acceleration. This is point capital A, this is point capital B somewhere here. Let's say point capital C somewhere here, point capital C. Then what you can do? You can consider now A to be motion. You know U is 0, you know S and you know time. You can easily find A. That's all. If you are going with normal method, right side direction, and you consider A to be motion. If I apply a latent motion equation, right, the best equation is S equals ut plus half squared equation. Right side direction, you can apply what equation? S equals ut plus half a t squared equation. Then you can substitute the displacement during the first second is 20. Initial velocity is u is 0. Therefore, this is 0 plus half. Acceleration, I don't know. I thought of finding simple A only. Time taken is 1 square means 1 square means 1. Therefore, you are getting acceleration is how much? 40 ms minus 2. Simple A is how much? 40 ms minus 2. 40 ms minus 2. Right? Okay. right? And then what you can do, now the target is finding simple x, distance traveled from t equals 1 to t equals 2 seconds. If not during the second displacement done by the particle, simple x, I want to simple x super. Now what we do, consider A to C motion. Now since you know A, when you consider A to C motion, if you consider A to C motion, one can apply what? Again, apply S equals ut plus half at squared equation. S equals ut plus half at squared equation. In that case, total displacement from A to C, let's take it as SAC. Displacement from A to C, SAC. That is equal to what? Again, A to C means initial velocity is 0, u is 0, half. Acceleration I found is 40, it's 40, time taken is how much? T equals 0, t equals 2 seconds. Total time taken is 2 seconds, 2 squared. If we simplify, we are getting that here, this 2 and this 2 cancel out, that's going to be 80 meters. Remember, then easily you can find the answer. You can easily find the answer is how much? Right, A to B gap is 20 meters. A to C gap is how much? 80 meters. Then what is a simple x? A to B 20 meters, A to C 80 meters. This gap, B to C gap is how much? X equals how much? That is 60. X equals 60. You can easily find 60. But remember, this is one method. X equals 60. X equals 60 meters. How many of you got this answer from this method? Raise your hands when you do the paper. When you're doing the paper, how many of you got this answer from this method and sub? This method only we got the answer. I got the answer from this method and sub. I got the answer from this method and sub. There are people got the answer from this method. Okay, that's good. Really, that's good. Right, okay. Okay, quickly copy down. Give me 1 second. Copy down. Give me 1 second. Okay. Okay. But remember, there is one more story I want to tell you. There is one more story. One more story. If you want now we can do another way also. We can do another way also. We can do another way also. Right? We can do another way also. Right, but to do that method, in order to do that method, you should know the acceleration. There is another method, but remember, to do that method, you want acceleration. Okay. Now, better remember this equation. Right, look here. Sn. I will tell you. Sn. Okay, Sn. That is equal to. I will tell you. That is equal to. In a short note point book, write down u plus. Right, u plus okay, u plus a over 2, u plus a over 2, 2n minus 1, a over 2, 2n minus 1. In your short note point book, please write this equation for a reason. Now they can ask you in the exam, right, but you should know the acceleration of the motion. They can ask you during the 3rd second, during the 4th second displacement done by the object, during the 5th second displacement done by the object, during the 2nd second. Now they have asked me during the 2nd second displacement done by the object. If they ask you, we have an equation. Remember, this is the equation. If you want to find displacement done during 1st second, 2nd second only, 3rd second only, this is the equation. That is equal to initial velocity plus acceleration over 2 into the time, second, 3rd second, 4th second, 5th second, minus 1. Right? But to use this equation, you should know the acceleration. Okay? For this question, this is the best way. But remember, upcoming MCQs, please remember, there are some upcoming MCQs you will face in our upcoming papers. Using this equation is really easy. Right? If I find displacement done during the 2nd second, let's say now during the 2nd second is S2, that is equal to u is 0, acceleration is 40 over 2, 2nd second, then 2 into 2nd second means n is 2, 2nd second means n equals 2, 2 minus 1. Then we are getting what? We are getting here 4 minus 1. 4 minus 1 is 3. Then 40 over 2 means 20. 20 into 3 is how much? That's going to be 60 meters. 60 meters. Now this is a good method. This is one of the best method. Remember, in case in your upcoming papers, definitely I will put some questions. Right now, in this question, yeah, you have to find simple A acceleration, and by using A to C entire motion, you can find total displacement done throughout the 2-second time period, and then x is 60. That is okay. But remember, this is a kind of short method, but not for here, not for here. Upcoming papers, remember, in a particular, they can ask you in a particular time, in a particular second, during the 5th second, during the 9th second. In a particular second, they can ask you displacement, then is the equation, short note, point story. Important idea. Right, me? Nice question. Okay. Then question number 12. 12th one is easy. 12th one is easy. Now 12th one is easy. Next question. Next question. If you have any doubt, ask. If you have a problem, ask. If you have any doubt, ask. Question number 12. Now 12th one idea, 12th one story. Question number 12 idea. Number 12. A vehicle travels 150 meter under uniform deceleration from 20 to 10. What is the deceleration of the object? Very easy. Very easy. Question number 12. These are very easy questions. Number 12, deceleration. Velocity is reducing from how much? Velocity decreases from 20 to 10 m minus 1. 150 meter under uniform deceleration from 20 to 10 m minus 1. What is the deceleration? When you're doing MCQs, you don't want to mark these diagrams, you don't mark. If you're doing MCQs 20 m minus 1, write deceleration. After 150 meter later, velocity of the object is how much? That is 10 m minus 1. Velocity is 10 m minus 1. That means velocity reduces in the direction of motion. That means in the direction of motion, object undergoes deceleration. Opposite direction, left side direction, object undergoes acceleration. Acceleration is simply left side direction. The best equation is you know u, initial velocity. Final velocity also you know it's 10. Displacement is 150 meter. You know u, you know v, and you know s. You want to find any best equation is what? In the direction of motion, right side direction, I'm applying v squared is equal to u squared plus 2as equation. Then final velocity is how much? 10, 10 squared. 10 squared is equal to u means how much? 20. 20 squared plus 2. Acceleration is what direction? Left side direction. That is minus. If not simply, left side direction is minus. If not simply, okay. Right, I told you. So if you just write down simply, you get the answer for simply the sign. Right, if you rather than substituting minus a, if you just substitute simple a at the end, you get the answer for simple a with the sign. Displacement is how much? That is 150 meter. 150. Then here it's 100. 100 equals it's 400 plus 300 simply. Simple is how much? Here 100 minus 400 is minus 300. Minus 300 is equal to 300 simply. Right, simple A means minus 300 over 300 means minus 1. Minus 1, M is minus 2. Clear? Therefore, answer is 1 M is minus 2. Remember, minus means remember deceleration. Okay, negative acceleration is what we call as deceleration. Clear? The number 12 answer. Question number 12 answer going to be number 12 answer is 1. Third one is the answer. Question number 12 answer is third one. Question number 12 answer is third one. Number 13. Number 13 idea. 13 idea, that is also simple. In the above question, I think this question only, 12 only, mistakenly printed as 15 in the above question. What shall be the further distance covered by the vehicle under same deceleration to become rest? What shall be the further distance covered by this vehicle under same deceleration to become rest? Now they are asking, this object undergoes deceleration. Velocity keeps on decreasing. They are asking when the moment velocity becomes 0, when the moment velocity becomes 0, what is the additional distance traveled? What is the distance? Simple x. They are asking simple x actually. Clearly? So I consider this point capital A, point capital B, and point capital C. Point capital C. So when you consider B to C motion, if you consider B to C motion, when you consider B to C motion, apply suitable linear motion equation. You want to find displacement, B to C displacement, simple x ni. Then again V squared equals U squared plus 2AC equation. Right side direction V squared equals U squared plus 2AC equation. Then V means 0. U means how much? U means 10 squared. 10 squared plus 2. Acceleration we found left side direction 1. Left side direction 1 means minus 1. You want to find simple x. Simple x. So when you find simple x, it's minus 2x. If you move left side, 2x ni. Minus 2x. If you move left side, becomes 2 simple x. This 2 simple x exactly equal to how much? 100. When you substitute simple x, the simple x is going to be equal to how much? 100 over 2 is 50 meter. Further, it travels 50 meter and come to rest. Further, it travels 50 meter and come to rest. Nice question. Simple story. This is not difficult. Simple stories. Not difficult. 12 is simple. 14 is a very good question. 14 is one of the star question. Really good question. 14 is super question. Question number 13 answer is 50 meter. Question number 13 answer must be third one. Question number 13 answer must be third one. 14th idea. Number 14. Number 14 is a good question. I will do the diagram. Okay, I'll draw the diagram here. Number 14, nice question, star question, okay? It's a star question. It's a double star question, okay? Double star question. Double star question 14. It's a double star question 14. Right, okay. I draw the diagram. Diagram is somewhat difficult to draw the diagram. It's okay. The diagram. The diagram. Okay. Right. Okay. Nicely. Somewhat okay shape. A, B, C, D. Initial point is point capital A. This point is point capital B and point capital A, B, point capital C and point capital D. Point capital D. Right, okay, A, B, C, D. Now, I think there's a particle. That particle is moving along a path A to B to C to D. That's what I understand. That's a particle. That particle is moving along a path A to B to C to D. Look here. There's a particle is moving from starting the motion from point capital A, right, along this half circles. It's a half, AB is a half circle of radius simple r. AB is a half circle of radius simple r. Radius simple r. And again this BC is also a half circle. Center point is point capital A. Radius simple r. Radius 2 simple r. Radius 2 simple r. Remember, AB is a half circle of radius simple r. Center point is the center point. And remember BC. BC is also a half circle of radius 2 simple r. When you consider CD, that is also a kind of half circle of radius 3 simple r. Center point is here. Radius 3 simple r. Clearly, nice story. 3 simple r. What they mentioned is, look here, what they mentioned is 3 simple r. Okay, nice question. Now they mentioned that particle is moving starting from point capital A, moving along this path A to B, B to C, C to D. Under a constant speed V, under a constant speed V. Shall I find the time taken when the particle is moving from A to B to C to D along this circular path? Shall I find the time taken? Speed is V, radius given. If you want to find the time taken for this entire journey, capital T. If you want to find the total time taken for the entire journey, when moving from A to D, total time taken for the entire journey, you want to find the total distance. You want to know the total distance, right? Therefore, sir, total distance travels is what? Addition of this half circles. A to B is a half circle. Find that half circular distance. Find that perimeter circumference, half circular circumference. Again, find BC circumference, half circle. Again, find CD, half circle length. So remember, all levels we learned, if there is a complete circle, we learned, if there is a complete circle of radius simple r, the total circumference, okay, total circumference equals what? 2 pi r. Total circumference equals 2 pi r. 2 pi r, 2 pi r equation. If there is a half circle, divide by 2. There's a half circle, divide by 2, that's okay, that's all. Then sir, total distance traveled by the object is what? Total distance, it's a simple d. That is equal to AB half circle, how much? 2 pi radius of AB half circle is simple r. 2 pi r over 2, 2 pi r over 2, plus. Sir, when I consider this large BC half circle, radius 2 simple r, 2 pi radius 2 simple r, half circle over 2, plus. So, large circle of radius 3 simple r. Therefore, total circumference is 2 pi radius 3 simple r, divide by 2. This is going to be the total distance. The total distance traveled by the particle from A to D. Simple story. A small simplification here. Small simplification. What you can do here? One can cut 2 to cancel out. 2 cancel out. So when you add them together, pi r plus 2 pi r plus 3 pi r. Remember that's going to be equal to 6 pi r. Pi r plus 2 pi r plus 3 pi r going to be equal to 6 pi r. Total distance it travels is what? 6 pi r. Okay, this is important. So what you can do now? Okay, sir. Actually, now in the question they are asking average velocity only. Right? I somehow found total distance it traveled in terms of simple r, that is 6 pi r. Total distance it traveled, total length of the path it traveled is 6 pi r. Got the idea? Speed is v. So I can easily find the total time taken. We can remember, sir, speed is equal to what? Speed is equal to distance over time. So the total time taken is what? Capital T, that is equal to total distance over speed. Right? Total speed is v. Total distance is, I found 6 pi r. 6 pi r from my equation 1. So total time taken going to be, that is capital T. Capital T is equal to how much? 6 pi r over v. 6 pi r over v. Super ni. Equation number 2. Sir, we can remember average velocity means, very good question, double star question. Sir, average velocity means we learn total displacement, not total distance. If we divide total displacement by total time, that is what we call as average velocity. What is the equation? If we divide total displacement, average velocity, sir, V average, that is equal to what, sir? We learn total displacement. Total displacement, if we divide by total time, that is what we called as average velocity. We can remember the theory. So total displacement, I know total time taken is 6 pi r over v. Total displacement is what, sir? Displacement is basically starting point is A, final point is D, the straight line connecting A and D distance. A to D distance. Sir, now this CD circle center is this point. CD circle, large circle center is this point. If I ask you, what is this distance? Anyone can tell, reply everyone. This is the center of CD circle. I am asking, what is the distance from the center point to point D? I am asking center point to point distance, reply. Reply everyone. Center point to point capital D distance is what? Reply everyone. Reply everyone. Center point to point capital distance is what? Reply everyone. Anyway, give a try. Stay in the session. 3 simple R. Super. 3 simple R. Very good. 3 simple R. When you consider this, okay, 3 simple R. Okay, 3 simple R. When you consider center point to point capital D. Small circle radius simple R. the center point of small circle, this gap is how much? This gap is how much? Reply. That gap is how much? Right, this center point, small circle center point is same. This position here to point capital, here to point capital, gap is how much? R. R. Very good. Then we got the idea, sir. If you consider A to D, very simple. A is here, D is here. This gap is simple R. This gap is 3 simple R. The displacement from A to D is how much? 4 simple R. Sir, total displacement is how much? A to D, 4 simple R. Division. Total time taken from equation 2, that is 6 pi R over V. Total time taken is what? 6 pi R division V. From equation what? Equation 2. Nice question. We learned lots of things, sir. 4 simple R. We'll do like this question. We'll do more question like this, sir. Then only we can improve ourselves. 6 pi R, then into V, R cancel out. We are getting final answer. 4V over 6 pi means, if you divide by 2, 2V over 3 pi. Answer is how much? 2V over 3 pi super. V average is how much? V average equal to what? 2V over 3 pi super. Question number 14, no? Genuinely hands up. This story clear hands up. This idea very clear. We got the idea, sir. Got it. Put some thumb or reply or raise your hands or whatever. Got the idea, sir. Got the idea. We learned something. We got the idea. Super. Nice question. We learned something. Nice question. Super. Super ni. Super idea ni. Super okay. Super nice. Okay. Done ni. Done story done. Okay. Then 15 question. 15 idea. Right. Okay. 15 idea. Right. Okay. Now they have given ST graph is given and what to VT graph. This is very simple story. Yeah? ST graph to VT graph story very simple. Okay, 15, 16, 17, 18. Okay, 15. But 15. 15 idea. Now ST graph is given, want to go to VT graph. In your classes, multiple times, this type of question we have done. We have done similar questions we have done. Therefore, very easy. ST graph, want to go to VT graph. Ni? Right, ST graph contains 3 parts. Curvy part number 1, part number 2, and part number 3. It contains 3 parts. It contains 3 parts. Part number 1, part number 2, part number 3. It contains 3 parts. Super ni. Part number 1, part number 2, part number 3. Okay ni. So then if you convert to VT graph, very simple. If you convert to VT graph, now look here. Now I told you the gradient of ST graph is what velocity we learned. Gradient of ST graph is velocity. We learned that idea. Ni? That idea we learned. Okay, ni? Right. Okay. Gradient of ST graph velocity super. Then what happens when you go along graph number 1? We know obtuse angle increasing. Obtuse angle increasing means what I told you. Part number 1 along the graph, obtuse angle increasing. That means negative gradient. Obtuse angle increasing means we all know that negative gradient decreasing. Gradient is velocity. Negative velocity decreasing. We all know negative velocity decreasing. Part number 1, remember, negative velocity decreasing. Part number 2, horizontal line, gradient 0, angle 0, gradient 0, therefore horizontal graph. Part number 3, acute angle increasing. Along the graph, we learned acute angle increasing means we can remember positive gradient increasing. That means positive velocity increasing. So therefore question number 15, nice. Simple question. That is second one. How many of you got this answer and when you're doing the paper? When you're doing the paper, raise your hands. How many of you could get the correct answer? When you were doing the paper, how many of you could get the correct answer? When you were doing the paper, how many of you could get the correct answer? Because I told you, this story I told you, okay? In case if you could not get these questions answer, it's your mistake. Because similar question, similar concept we learned in our class, This question, now in case if you can't do this question, okay, because you require the practice. This type of question, suddenly you can't get the idea, that's fine. We can think like, fine, okay, you should think, you want to get the idea, but it's okay, fine. But remember, this type of question, if you couldn't get the answer, means there's a kind of mistake in your mind. Don't put the blame on your teacher, there's a kind of mistake on your mind. In the class, when I was doing this conversion, if you felt like you got the idea and if you could do the questions as well, then in the exam, if you could not get the answer, means the mistake is with you. You find what's your mistake. Maybe you are not in touch with the lesson, that's the problem. Maybe you are not in touch with the lesson, that's the problem. Find a way to touch in the lesson continuously. That's story. Okay, 15 done. Right, we have last 10 to go, 16 story. What is the displacement done by an object having initial velocity 20 ms minus 1, most with an acceleration 2 ms minus 2, 10 seconds. They have given u, a and t. Now they have given u, a and t and want to find s. Very simple question 16. S equals ut plus half a squared equation. When you apply s equals ut plus half a t squared equation, they are asking displacement something. U is how much? U is given. Initial velocity is given as how much? 20. Acceleration is 2 times 10. Acceleration is 2 times 10. Half a is 2 times 10, 10 squared, how much? Here it's going to be 200. 200 plus here, that's going to be 100, 300 meter. Am I correct? Answer is 300 meter. Question number 16 answer is 1. Right, s equals to ut plus half a squared, a is 2. Acceleration is 2 and times 10, 10 squared. Here u 20 times 10, 10. Okay. Answer is 300 meter. Very simple, basic question. Really basic questions are not difficult. These are. Right, not difficult. Right, question number 16 answer is first one. 17 is really good question. 17 nice question, star question, learn something. 17 you can learn something. A kind of star question can learn something. Can learn something 17. Right, okay, statement question. Statement question. Statement question. Statement question. Right, statement question. Statement question. AB is not R. The center of AB to A is R. I didn't say AB is R. Okay, AB is 2R. Center to A is R. This AB circle, center to A is R. That's what I told. Center to A is R. Center to D is 3R. Center to A is R. Center to D is 3R. That's what I told. Okay. Now, question number 17 idea. 17, two objects P and Q moving along a straight line. P and Q, two objects moving along a straight line. That displacement versus time graph are shown in the figure. ST graph is given. We know ST graph gradient is velocity. ST graph gradient is velocity. You can remember. Okay. Consider the following statements. A. The velocities of the objects are in direction opposite. Okay. If you go to the graph, ST graph. Y-axis displacement and x-axis time. X-axis time axis. Time axis. There are two graphs. Black color graph belongs to object P. And if I do second graph in red color graph belongs to object Q. Red color graph belongs to object Q. Right? Okay. Now statement A, they are telling statement A. There are statements A, B, C. 3 statements I think. Statement A, B, C. Yeah, D, 4 statements. Statement A, they are telling, remember, they are saying the velocities of two objects are in directions opposite. That means one object, for an example, is moving right side, means other object is moving left side. Hands up, statement A, right hand side. Hands up, says statement A correct. When one object is moving right side, other one is moving in left side. Statement A correct, hands up. It's wrong, sir. Statement A is wrong. I feel like statement A is wrong, sir. It's wrong. Statement A should be wrong, sir. Statement A must be wrong. I feel like statement A is wrong. I feel like statement A is wrong. Because I told you, okay, how do we understand whether they are moving in same direction or opposite? How do we understand? Sir, ST graph gradient is what? Velocity. We learned. Sir, ST graph gradient is velocity. ST graph gradient is what? Velocity. Gradient is velocity. Super. I told you, if you can remember, sir, acute angle means, remember, the graph is creating acute angle means I told you positive gradient, that means positive velocity, that means right side direction velocity. For acute angle, if the graph is creating acute angle means positive gradient, positive velocity. Why? Gradient is velocity, therefore right side direction velocity. Sir, both the graphs, look here. When you consider any point on graph Q1, any point on graph P, what happens? The angles, if you draw tangent lines, I don't draw tangent, if you want, I'll draw tangent line, but I don't want to draw. If you draw tangent line, those tangent line makes acute angle, okay? They make acute angle. Therefore, remember, both of them are making acute angle means both of them are moving right side direction means same direction. Statement is wrong. Actually, both of them are moving in same direction, right side direction. Statement B. B says that the velocities of both objects increase with the time. Hands up. Statement B, correct answer. Velocity of both the objects are increasing, answer. Hands up. How many we say that velocity of both the objects are increasing? Hands up. No, sir. Object, when you consider object Q, its velocity is increasing. Object P's velocity decreasing, answer. Object Q velocity is increasing. Object P velocity decreasing, answer. I explained, if you can remember, I told you when you consider object Q, look here, object Q acute angle increasing along the graph, acute angle increasing means what is the meaning? Positive velocity increasing. When you consider object P along the graph, if you check carefully, acute angle decreasing. Object P, look carefully, acute angle decreasing. Remember, acute angle decreasing means, remember, positive velocity decreasing. So Q's velocity is increasing, P's velocity decreasing. Remember, Q's velocity is increasing. Remember, P's velocity is decreasing. Statement B also wrong. B is wrong. Their velocity, one's velocity is increasing, other one's velocity decreasing. Still B is wrong. B says what? B says the velocities of both objects increase with time. Wrong. Capital P is decelerating and while Q is accelerating. Correct me. Sir, Q's velocity is increasing means Q is under acceleration. Clear? Sir, P's velocity decreasing means P is under deceleration. Statement C is correct. Last one. Initially, the velocities of both the objects are equal. Hands up. Statement D, correct answer. Initially, the velocities of both the objects are equal. Correct answer. Wrong answer. Their velocities are different. When t equals 0, in the beginning, their velocities are different. Different answer. Because I told you, sir, we learned in a ST graph, gradient is velocity. No doubt me. To find the gradient, it depends on angle. Sir, Q graph is starting horizontally. If you consider graph Q's graph is starting horizontally. I told you, if the graph is starting horizontally, initial velocity, if you can remember, if you draw tangent line is horizontally, initial velocity is 0. If you can remember, we learned in a class. When you consider, sir, P, if I draw a tangent line, this tangent line creates an acute angle. For the graph P at t equals 0, if I draw a tangent line, that tangent line creates an angle. That means P has a velocity, right? P has a velocity, Q's velocity is 0. Statement D also wrong. Nice question, huh? Star question. You can learn something. How many of you really got this question correct answer? That means you had a really good understanding of the lesson. How many of you could get the answer correct answer? When I was doing the paper, I got the answer correct. When I was doing the paper, I got the answer correct answer. There are people. There are people ni. There are people got the answer correct super. Super ni. Okay. Then question number 16 answer is how much? Last, I think we have last 9 ni. Then finished. Question number 16 answer is so 17 ni. 16 done. 17 answer is now only C is correct. Option number 3. 17 answer is third one. Question number 17 answer must be third one. Answer must be third one. Super. Okay, now we'll go to 18, 19, 20, last few questions. Mostly, I think today we have to do only the MCQ paper because it takes time only what to do. But remember, don't plan to watch the recording. I will upload the recording also in the website, right? But don't plan to watch the recording and don't buy the recordings. No point, right? Whenever you can join live, if there is no any extreme connection issues, then join live and cover it. Right, don't plan to watch the recording and 3-hour recordings you require at least 4.5 hours to completely watch it and don't spoil your time. Don't waste your time. Time is very precious. Very precious. Okay. Right, okay. Last 17, 18th one. 18th one, nice question. 18, nice question. That is also a very tricky question, 18th one. 18 is very tricky question, 18th one. Okay. Right, ne? Okay. 18. Time is, what is time now? Time is 10:35. 10:35. 10:35. Okay. 18. A balloon rises vertically. A balloon rises vertically upward from the ground with uniform acceleration. A balloon rises vertically upward from ground with uniform acceleration. After a time simple t, a stone is released from the balloon. A stone is released from the balloon. Okay. Select the answer that correctly depicts the displacement time graph and velocity time graph for the motion of the stone from the moment it is released until it hits the ground. Okay. Right, okay. Now, look here. There's a balloon. There's a balloon. Just think in the beginning balloon is on the ground, think like that in the beginning think like that, balloon is on the ground in the beginning when t equals 0, balloon is on the ground in the beginning. Balloon is on the ground in the beginning, balloon is on the ground, okay. Now this balloon started to move under acceleration. Balloon is moving upward direction. As it moves upward direction, its velocity keeps on increasing. Let's say at a certain instant, let's say when the balloon is somewhere here, after some time later, when the balloon is somewhere here, this balloon is releasing an object. After some time later, when the balloon is somewhere here, this balloon is releasing an object. If you can remember, I taught you, right, recently, I think not online, recently I think I explained story, in the story I explained in theory classes also. When an object is released from a moving object, important point, remember, if an object is released from a moving object, remember, if an object is dropped, if an object is released from a moving object, that object obtains the velocity of that moving object. Okay? For an example, now at this instant, balloon's velocity keeps on increasing. At this instant, we all know that balloon has a velocity. At this instant, we all know this balloon has a velocity. We all know at this instant, balloon has a velocity. Right? If the object is dropped from moving balloon, when the moment object is dropped, remember this object also has the same velocity as the balloon. For an example, this moment balloon's velocity is 10 ms minus 1. This object's velocity is also 10 ms minus 1 upwards. Remember, object's velocity is also 10 ms minus 1 upwards. That logic is okay, answer. Now there's a crow. That crow is moving horizontally. This crow is carrying a small fruit from its beak. Right? When the moment the crow dropped the fruit, remember fruit is also having an initial velocity same as velocity of the crow. That idea we learned, right? Can remember, hands up? Can remember? We can remember that idea, hands up. We can remember, you guys can remember the idea, no? Idea is clear, right? Idea is okay. If you are having a doubt, ask. Then remember, then what will happen? Now don't look at the balance motion, look at the object's motion. If you look at this object moves in a vertical motion under gravity. This object initially, since it has a velocity upward direction, initially it goes upwards. As the object goes upwards, what will happen if its velocity decreases? At a point, velocity becomes zero. At a point, velocity becomes zero. Thereafter, object comes back to the ground. Thereafter, look here. Thereafter, object comes back to the ground. Thereafter, object is coming back to the ground. Okay. Okay, now for an example. Let's say, when the balance velocity is 10 ms minus 1, object is dropped. Then initial velocity of the object is also same as 10. Clear? Then the velocity keeps on decreasing. 10 ms minus 1, 9 ms minus 1, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0 ms minus 1. Again, object comes down. Velocity is increasing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. When the object again passing this position, velocity is 10. That idea, if you have a problem, ask. Then 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90. Likewise, velocity keeps on increasing. Right? Now they are asking ST graph. Remember when t equals 0. Now if you measure displacement from the ground, we measure displacement from the ground. We are measuring displacement from the ground. When t equals 0, object has a displacement upward direction. Look here. When t equals 0, object has a displacement upward direction. Right? Therefore, remember, if you draw the ST graph, be very careful. When you draw the ST graph, right, when t equals 0, object has a displacement upward direction. So, if you are drawing ST graph, okay, right, when t equals 0, object has a positive displacement somewhere here. Graph should start from somewhere, positive displacement value somewhere here. Do you understand? Then positive displacement decreases, right? Your graph. Clear? Now, when the object is moving from here to here, displacement keeps on increasing. As the object comes down, displacement keeps on decreasing. It is clear? It's your ST graph. If you're having a problem, ask. If you have a doubt, ask. Then if you do the VT graph, look here, VT graph. If you do the VT graph, some people draw the ST, some people think like ST graph is like this, wrong. Because when t equals 0, object has a positive displacement. If you do the VT graph, what's happening? When t equals 0, object has an upward velocity, for example 10. As the object goes upward direction, that velocity in upward direction, plus 10, plus 9, plus 8, plus 4, plus 3, plus 2, plus 1, 0, positive velocity decreasing. Thereafter, remember, negative velocity keeps on increasing. Negative velocity keeps on increasing, remember. Finally, when the object is in the ground, negative velocity is large velocity. Right? That's the idea. Therefore, this graph is not symmetric. Okay? Nice idea. Question number 18 answer. I think time is 10:41. Question number 18 answer is how much? That's going to be, what is the right answer? Right answer must be number 2. Second one, hands up. How many of you agree with me? Second one must be the answer. Hands up. How many of you agree with me? Second one must be the answer. Hands up. Second one must be the answer. We got what you told. We got the idea. Second one must be the answer. Second one must be the answer. Second one must be the answer. Number 2. Answer is number 2. Second one must be the answer. Question number 18. Answer is second one. Right me. Last 7. Last 7 then finished. Last 7 story finished. 19 story. 19 is very difficult. 19 is very difficult. Okay. Select the, now there's a small mistake in the third column. Third column, it must be F1 minus F2. But you can understand, right? They are asking addition and subtraction. No? Right. Select the answer correctly shows the sum and difference of two vectors F1 and F2. Sum and difference, addition of two vectors and subtraction of two vectors. Question number 19. 19 idea. 19 idea. Question number 19 idea. I will give a homework, should do the homework and send in the group. I will give 1 day time. Normally for 27 batch people, today itself I'm telling to them to do. But for you people, I will give 1 day time before tomorrow 11:59 p.m. Before tomorrow 11:59 p.m. every question I discussed once again, you should try one last time. Every questions I discussed today once again by yourself on till you get the last answer. Right, take a separate piece of paper till you get the last answer once again. These 20, if I discussed all 25 questions today, all 25 questions should be done by yourself once again. All 25 questions you should do by yourself on once again. Once again. Right me? Question number 19. Look here, 19. Simple. 19 is easy, not difficult. Easy. 19 is easy, not difficult. Now answer is second one. I will tell you why. Look here. Look here. Now there are two answers. Second one. Now there are two vectors. Now they have given the option number 2. There are two vectors. One is left side direction. That is F1. Other one is upward direction F2. This is F1. It's your F2. F1, F2. It's your F2. Right knee angle is 90. Now addition of two vectors means F1 plus F2. Right, what you can do, my advice is represent these two vectors. Now you want to know F1 is left side direction, F2 is upward direction. If you want to find the addition of two vectors, what do they mean? F1 plus F2, there are two vectors, F1 is left side, F2 is upward direction. Remember if you want to find addition of two vectors F1 plus F2, right, F1 is what? F1 is left side direction, F1 left side F1. F2 is what? Upward direction F2, upward F2, upward F2. Clear? Then represent these two vectors in the diverging way. If you represent these two vectors such a way diverging from common point, if you represent these two diverging from common point, right, like this, okay, left side F1 diverging from common point, that means left side F1, I am going to represent these two vectors diverging from common point, then upward F2, see, now see, now these two vectors are diverging from common point, no? Then we all know that result is always passing through the common point between two vectors. Result is always passing through common point between these two vectors. Then, right, if you represent F1 plus F2, the resultant, the addition of these two vectors is how much? In this direction. Clearly? Clear. Then they are asking difference. F1 minus F2. F1 minus F2. That means your F1 is what? F1 is left side F1. Minus, what is your F2? F2 is what? Upward F2. Sir, what will happen? Okay, left side F1. What will happen if you multiply? Right, if you multiply F2 upward direction by negative sign. If you multiply a vector by, I told you, if you can remember, we learned vectors, when you multiply a vector by negative sign, what happens is, its direction changes, magnitude is same. When you multiply a vector by negative sign, its direction changes. Therefore, we can write down plus. If you multiply a vector by negative sign, becomes, the direction is opposite now, downward, F2. Remember, when you multiply a vector by a negative sign, direction only changes, magnitude is same, then becomes plus downward F2. That means left side, if you arrange now these two in diverging way, left side F1, downward F2, common point, result is always passing to the common point in this direction. The difference of these two vectors is this direction. Got the idea? Idea is okay, nice question. It's a good question. The difference is, the addition is this direction. The subtraction, the difference is this direction. Answer is second one. The answer must be second one. Nice question. Question number 19, answer is second one. 20th one. Time is what? Time is 10:50. 20th one. Session is very effective. Stay for 11. We'll see We'll decide whether stop the class or we'll complete the MCQ paper and we'll stop the class or not. We'll decide it. We'll decide, but keep active. Hands are very energetic, sir. Sir, we are really energetic. We can do the class till the paper finishes and so. So we are energetic, sir. We can stay few moments, no issue. We'll stay few moments and we'll finish this paper and we'll go home. Right, students? We can stay few moments and so. We can stay few moments, no issue, sir. Can stay, no issue, no, sir. Can stay, no issue, not a big deal, no, sir. Can stay. Exam is coming, can stay. Can stay. Right, me? Next story, number 20, 21, 22, number 20. Number 20. Question number 20. Okay, 20th one. Number 20 idea. Number 20 idea. 20th one, an object is moving along a straight line with uniform acceleration, travel 100 meter during the first 2 seconds and 180 meter during the next 3 seconds. Its velocity at the end of 6 seconds is, its velocity at the end of 6 seconds is, its velocity is at the end of 6 seconds is, right, okay. Now, during first 2 seconds 180 meter, next 3, during first 2 seconds 100 meter and next 3 seconds 180 meter. Look here, this question. Number 20. Linear motion equations apply suitable linear motion equations, okay. Right now, object. We don't know what is the initial velocity, we don't know. I don't know initial velocity of this object, I don't know. Therefore, I'm putting this u0 in front of you. u0, initial velocity of this object, I don't know. But they mention object undergoes acceleration. I don't know acceleration as well, I don't know. I don't know simple as well. I don't know. What I know is in the first 2 seconds, displacement done by the object is 100 meter. In the first 2 seconds, displacement done by the object is 100 meter. In the next 3 seconds, displacement done by the object is how much? The next 3 seconds, displacement done is 180 meters. That's what I know. The next 3 seconds, displacement done by the object is how much? 180 meters. That's all I know. In the first 2 seconds, displacement is 100 meter. The next 3 seconds, displacement done is how much? 180 meters. That's what I know. That's what I know. But they are asking at the 6th second, they are asking its velocity at the end of 6 seconds. They are asking something else. My advice is, first of all, try to find A and U0. That's the best option. If you try to find A and U0, that's the best option. Try to find A and U0. Right, what you can do, again, this point is, initial point is point capital A, this point is point capital B, this point capital C. So what you do, my advice is A to B, consider A to B, apply S equals UT plus half A squared equation. Apply S equals UT plus half AT squared equation. Displacement is what? Displacement is 100 meter. A to B displacement is 100 meter. 100. Initial velocity is how much? That is we don't know. U0. I don't know U0. Time taken is 2 seconds. Time taken is 2 seconds plus half. Acceleration also I don't know. Simply. I don't know simply. Time taken is how much? Time taken going to be that is 2 squared. Small simplification. This 2 cancel out. There are 3 terms containing 2. I can divide all terms by 2 as well. 2, it's going to be 50. So what I'm getting is U0 plus simply. I'm getting U0 plus simply, that is equal to 50. Equation 1. My target is finding U0 and A. Then I can find the question they are asking. Again, I consider A to C motion. If I consider A to C motion, if I apply S equals UT plus half AT squared equation, right? Then total displacement, A to C total displacement is how much? 280. This 280 is equal to what? U naught I don't know. U naught I don't know. Time taken is 5 seconds. Ni. 2 seconds, 3 seconds, or 5 seconds plus half. Acceleration is how much? I don't know. Simply, time taken is 5 seconds, 5 squared. 5 squared. Again, what you can do, you can divide everyone by 5. If you divide all terms by 5, 280 also if you divide by 5, it's going to be 56. If you divide 280 also by 5, you have 5, 25 into 25, 20, 30, 30 means 6. Now you can multiply everyone by 2 also. 2 means 2. Here you are getting, if you multiply everyone by 2, multiply all terms by 2. If you multiply all terms by 2, when you multiply all terms by 2, you do by yourself also. Suddenly you don't get the idea. We are getting 2u naught plus 2u naught, these two cancel out, plus a, that is equal to how much? 112. That is equal to how much? 56 into 2 is how much? 112. Equation number 2. Number 1, number 2. Right, okay, now subtraction. Now subtraction, if you subtract 2 minus 1, that is equal to how much? That is equal to 2u naught plus a minus u naught minus c. If you subtract 2u naught, equation 2 minus 1, a cancel out, 2u naught minus u naught is u naught, that is equal to how much? 112 minus 50 means 62. M is minus 1. We are getting, someone cross check that. When you subtract equation 2 minus 1, u naught, you are getting the answer, that is 62. When you find simple a you are getting, right? U naught is 62 ni. Simple a you are getting, all okay ni? Clear ni? Right? Any mistake we've done? I think everything is fine. Everything is fine. I think everything is fine. What they mentioned object moving along a straight line with uniform acceleration travels 100 meters during the first 2 seconds, 180 meters during the next 3 seconds. Its velocity at the end of 6 seconds is, right? Okay. So far fine. Right, u naught s equals ut plus half its equation. 100 meter. Right, 2u naught plus half a t square means 2 squared. Here, these two cancel out, these cancel 50. U naught plus a is how much? 50, that is fine. And I consider a to c motion, right, then 100 plus 180 meter, that is 280 meter. 280 meter, u naught into 5, half a, 5 squared. Then I can cancel out, this 5. Right, if I cancel this 5, okay, that's a small mistake here. Right, okay. Then, okay, right, okay. 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 Displacement is 280. Initial velocity is u naught, time taken is 5 seconds. U naught into 5. Half. Acceleration is I don't know simply. Time taken is 5 squared. What you do, divide all the terms by 5. Then here you are getting, if you divide 280 by 5, you are getting 50. 25 means 5, 50, 30 means 56. Right, then you can cut this 5 also, you can cut. Then you are getting what? U naught plus a over 2 equals, sorry, u naught plus 5a over 2 equals 56. Clear? Now multiply everyone by 2. If you okay, 56, that is equal to u naught plus 5a over 2. Right? 5a over 2. If you multiply everyone by, okay, that means 5a over 2 means how much? 2.5. Remember 5a over 5 over 2 is how much? 2.5. That is going to be 2.5a. 5 over 2 means 2.5 and 2.5. Right, okay. Now what you do? Equation number 2. Now subtract equation 2 minus 1. If you subtract 2 minus 1, we are getting what? We are getting, right, u naught cancel out. 2.5a minus a is 1.5a. 1.5 simple a. That is equal to how much? That is equal to 1.5 simple a. That is equal to how much? 56 minus 50. That is 6 ni. A is 4 ms minus 2. Acceleration, you are getting 4 ms minus 2 acceleration. Then you are getting, next you are getting u naught is how much? U naught plus A is 56 ni. A is 4 ni. A is 4 means u naught is how much? U naught is going to be how much? From equation 1. U naught going to be how much? 46. U naught is how much? 46. 50 minus 4 is 46. But remember, but they are asking velocity at the 6 second. Now what you do? Apply V equals U plus Z equation. Now they are asking velocity 6 second, apply V equals U plus Z equation. When you apply V equals U plus AT equation, velocity equals what? U is, we found U is how much? 46. Acceleration is 4. Time taken is 6. Then 6 into 4, 24. 24 plus 40 is how much? 50, 70 ms minus 1. 24 plus 40 is how much? 24 plus 46. 24, 46. Then 50, 70 ms minus 1 velocity. 70 ms minus 1. 70 ms minus 1 idea. Nice question. Nice question. 70 ms minus 1, 20. 70 ni. Number 5. 20 answer is 5. 20 answer is 5. Last 5 questions finished. 21. 21 is easy. Maximum height reached by a particle projected vertically upward from a point on the ground with a velocity 40. Right? Maximum velocity, maximum height, vertical motion under gravity. 21 is easy. 21 is vertical motion under gravity, easy question. Right? 21 is vertical motion under gravity question, easy question. Right? They have given in a vertical motion under gravity, projection velocity is how much? That is 40 ms minus 1. Initial velocity is 40 ms minus 1. We all know. Vertical motion under gravity, acceleration is 10 ms minus 2. At the maximum height, we all know velocity is 0. At the maximum velocity is 0, they are asking what? They are asking displacement, maximum height. They are asking the height. Best equation is what? V squared equals U squared plus 2AC equation. Best equation. Best equation upward direction. V squared equals U squared plus 2AS equation. V is 0. Initial velocity, that is 40 squared plus 2. Acceleration is downward, therefore minus 10. Displacement is simple h. Displacement is h. We are getting minus 20h, that side 20h. It's 20h. This 20h going to be equal to how much? That is equal to 40 squared. 40 squared means 40 into 40. 40 into 40. When you substitute h, you will get the answer. H equals how much? We simplify it. 40 into 40. If you divide by 20, that's going to be 0, 0. 80 meter. H equals 80 meter. Simple question. Simple question, not difficult. 80 meter, simple question. Question number 21, answer is 80 meter. Option number 1. Option number 1, 22, the graph is missing. For the online people, I am giving 2 extra marks. Graph is missing. Graph is missing, no? Graph is missing. Okay, now they have given VT graph and want to go to ST graph. They have given VT graph, want to go to ST graph. VT graph is given, want to convert to ST graph. VT graph is given. This is the given VT graph, okay? This is the given VT graph, okay? This is the given VT graph. If you are going to ST graph, look here. Very simple. Same question we done in our classes. VT graph is given. If you want to convert to ST graph. If you want to convert to ST graph. Part number 1, part number 2. Part number 1, part number 2. In part number 1, when you go along the graph what happens? Positive velocity decreasing. When you are going along the graph, positive velocity decreasing. Part number 2, when you are going along the graph, positive velocity increasing. Velocity is in ST graph gradient. Positive gradient increasing means acute angle increasing. Acute angle increasing. Positive velocity decreasing means, my bad. Positive velocity decreasing means acute angle decreasing. Positive velocity decreasing means positive gradient decreasing, acute angle decreasing. Then positive velocity increasing means positive gradient increasing, acute angle increasing. Today we learned done. Last 3 questions. Last 3 questions. Now 23, least count of a vernier caliper is 0.025 millimeter, least count. right? A length equal to 90 main scale divisions divided into 20 equal vernier scale division. The length of main scale division, you all know that. Very simple question, 23. 23 we learned. Least count is what? Main scale division over number of divisions in the vernier scale. We learned, if you can remember question number 23 we learned. Remember main scale division. Sorry, my bad, least count. Least count is equal to what? Main scale division MSD over number of divisions in the vernier scale. Least count is what? Main scale division over number of divisions in the vernier scale. Right? Least count is they have given, that is 0.0025. 0.0025. I want to find MSD. Number of divisions in the vernier scale is 20. Right? Therefore, MSD is how much? MSD going to be equal to how much? 0.0025 into 20, small simplification. 25 and 2 is how much? 50. 50 into 10 is 500. Right? 500, I think 0.05 millimeter. Answer is 0.05 millimeter. Answer is 0.05 millimeter. Simple question. This is not difficult. 0.05 millimeter. Answer is second one. 23. Answer is second one. 24th one. Question number 24. Last two questions finished. 24th one. Stay focused. Be active. 24th one. 24th one idea. We learned 5 objects are projected with the same speed at angle 20, 35, 50, 60, 70 with the horizontal. Which angle of the projection gives the maximum horizontal range? Okay, 0.025, my bad. 0.025. It's 0.025. 0.025. I checked 0.025. My bad. 0.025, 20. Then 0.25, 0.5. Okay, 0.5. Answer must be 0.5 millimeter. Okay, answer must be 0.5 millimeter. Someone cross check. I can do a mistake. Answer must be 0.5 millimeter. Right? Answer is third one, not second one. Third one is the answer. That is the answer. 24th one. Now projectile motion. You can remember I told you one story. Remember projectile motion. I told you 2 important points. One important point if you can remember. Under same projection velocity, you can remember there are 2 possible projection angles. Right? Under same projection velocity, there are 2 possible projection angles. For an example, theta 1, theta 2, which will give same horizontal range. Very important point. Remember, under same projection velocity, there are always 2 possible projection angles which provide same horizontal range. First important point. Short note point. Next important stories I told you. When you are under same projection velocity, when your projection angle increases from 0 to 45 degree. When your projection angle increases from 0 to 45 degree, horizontal range also increases once again. Under same velocity, if your projection angle is increasing from 0 to 45 degrees, 0, 10, 15, 20, 35, 45, corresponding horizontal range also keeps on increasing. For an example, we learned, angle is 30. So the angle is 10 degrees. This angle is 20 degrees, for an example, 20 degree projection. This angle is 30 degree for projection. See, your R is increasing. Important short point, right? Okay. Now they have given under same projection velocity, they have given 5 different projection angles. 20, 35, 50, 60, 70. Right? 20, 35, 50, 60, 70. Right me? 20, 35, 50, 60, 70. Also remember, projection horizontal range is increasing. Remember, when the angle is increasing from 0 to 45 only. Remember, the angle is further increasing, 45 degree to 90. Again, R is decreasing. Remember, when your projection angle is decreasing, when your projection angle is increasing from 45 degree to 90, again your horizontal ranges keeps on decreasing. Important point. Okay. Tell me, reply everyone. What is the other possible projection angle? Now 20 ni. Now let's say now when your projection angle is 20, horizontal range is for an example R1. What is the other possible projection angle which provides same R1? Remember, when your projection angle is 20 degree, horizontal range is R1. I am asking, same R1 will be given by another projection angle. What is that? Reply everyone. When your angle is 20, horizontal range is R1, same R1 you can obtain when your angle is what? Reply everyone. When your angle is what? In order to get the same angle, remember, when the horizontal range is capital R1 for 20 degree projection angle, right? But there is another angle which will give same R1. What is that? Which will give same R? What is that? 70. Because I told you, if one angle is theta, other angle is 90 minus theta. Remember? Let's say now, I remember very important point. Same horizontal range given by two possible angles. If you consider one angle is theta, other angle is 90 minus theta. Remember, put in your mind, under a given projection velocity, we can obtain same horizontal range by two different projection angles. If we take one angle as theta, the other possible angle is 90 minus theta. Now, for example, you get R1 horizontal range for a projection angle 20. You will get same R1 for a projection angle 90 minus 20 means 70. So remember, these two angles will result same R1 only. When you consider 35, what is the other possible angle? When you consider 35, what is the other possible projection angle which will provide same horizontal range? 55. This one 40. This one 30. So we noticed 20 degree and 70 degree will provide same horizontal range. Then you will know that 30 and 60 will provide same horizontal range. 40 and 50 will provide same horizontal range. So 35, 40 and 50 will provide same horizontal range. Clear? Right? Now given options 20, 60, right? 20, 60, 70, 35, 50. Right? Remember, very simple. Right? When you project the object with 20 degree or 70 degree, it will provide same horizontal range. If you project the object with 30 or 60 also same horizontal range. 40 and 50 also same horizontal range. Also we know that in this angle, when the angle is increasing 20, 30, 35, 40, horizontal range is increasing. Now tell me, they are asking 24, now tell me, which angle will give the maximum horizontal range? How much? 40, if not 50. Answer is 50. Hence the right is okay answer. 50 degree will provide maximum horizontal range. Idea clear answer. Idea is clear answer. Genuinely answer. Genuinely last question. Genuinely idea clear answer. Idea is okay answer. Genuinely idea is okay. Nice question. Put in short note point book. Nice question. Last story. Reply if you have a doubt or anything. Reply to Sulaiman sir. Okay. If you are having any doubt, reply to Sulaiman sir. Don't reply to that video streaming account. Last one for the day. Story finished. 25. Last story 25. Remember. Now they are asking VT graph is given. They are asking acceleration during the 11 second. Look here. Last part. They are asking 25 is very easy. 25. Last question for the day. Session is very effective. Super. We have to discuss essay paper soon. Really super. 25. What we want to do is 25. They have given VT graph. We all know in a VT graph, gradient is acceleration. Very important point. Gradient in a VT graph is what? Acceleration. Acceleration. Gradient in a VT graph is acceleration, sir. Now they are asking the acceleration at the 11 second. I draw only the last part, okay? I don't draw the entire graph. No point. If I draw only the graph part between 10 second and 12 second. If I draw the VT graph between 10 second and 12 second, that part only, yeah? Now they have given this velocity is how much? This is 5 and 10. This is 5 and 10. 5, 10. This time gap is how much? Time gap is 10 and 12. 10 and 12. That means 2 seconds. This gap is 2 seconds. This gap is 5. This gap is 2. You all know that gradient is acceleration. Gradient is tan theta. Sir, acceleration is gradient. That is tan theta. Tan theta means opposite is 5. Adjacent going to be 2. That is going to be 2.5 ms minus 2. Answer going to be how much? 2.5 ms minus 2. Answer is how much? Fourth one. Right? Genuinely hands up. And the session is very effective hands up. Session is very effective hands up. Very effective and every point is very clear, sir. We learned something. And we wrote this entire story in our separate CR book, discussion book. Also important points from today's discussion, I wrote in my short note point book. Raise your hands. 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 Sir, isn't R max 35? How can answer be 50? Because you all know that. Tell me what is the other possible. Now, okay, when the projection angle is 50, it gives a horizontal range R. What is the other possible angle which will provide same horizontal range? 40. 50 means 40. Right? When the angle is 50, it will provide the horizontal range. Same horizontal range will be given by what? 40 degree also. So 50 and 40 both, we all know when the angle is 50 or 40 both will provide same horizontal range. Okay, 50 degree or 40 degree both will provide same R, same horizontal range. Also we know that 0 to 45 degree R keep on increasing. If I ask you which will provide larger R, 35 or 40. If I ask you 35 degree or 40 will provide larger R, anyone can tell me. Right, since 40 is larger than 35, 40 only will give larger R. Since 40 and 50 will both give same R, 50 will give the larger R. Right, 40 only will give the larger R. R given by 40 and 50 are same. When the angles are 40 degree and 50 degree are giving same R, therefore 50 is the largest one. Larger one. Nice story. Nice story. Nice to learn something, improve yourself, learn something, improve yourself. Homework is before tomorrow, 11:59, 25 question, do by yourself one. Don't look at the discussion. When you get stuck, look at the discussion, redo by yourself one once again. I also you want to redo this question, 25 questions once again on your separate papers and send me that in the group. Also, important points you learn from this session, using different color pen, different book, different color pen, the important points also send the group. Okay, that is the homework. Story finished. We are meeting very soon. Then finished. Have fun. Then good night, study well, good night, study well.